As the evening deepens and the clamor of the day gives way to a profound stillness, you might find yourself lying there, eyes tracing the faint outlines of shadows on the ceiling, and a peculiar thought creeps in like a soft whisper from the edges of your mind. What if all of this, the intricate web of your daily existence, the highs and lows that define your story, is nothing more than a vast, cosmic jest, a grand illusion where the punchline is that there is no punchline at all? This is the heart of existential absurdity, a philosophical notion that has captivated thinkers for centuries, most notably Albert Camus, who delved into it with a quiet intensity that resonates even in our modern, hurried world. Camus, writing in the shadow of World War II's devastation, painted a picture of humanity's eternal struggle, our deep-seated yearning for clarity, for purpose, for some overarching narrative that ties everything together, only to collide headlong with a universe that remains utterly indifferent, silent, and devoid of any inherent meaning. It's a concept that bends the mind because it strips away the comforting illusions we've built around our lives, the belief that our efforts matter in some grand scheme, that there's a reason behind the suffering and joy alike. Yet, in this very confrontation lies its relevance, especially in moments like these. As we prepare to drift into sleep, it invites us not to turmoil, but to a gentle unwind, a surrender to the mystery that envelops us. By acknowledging the absurd, we can release the grip of expectation, allowing our thoughts to soften, to flow like a calm river under the moonlit sky, easing us toward restful oblivion. This idea isn't just an abstract musing, it's a lens through which we can view the quiet chaos of existence. Imagine, for a moment, the weight of your own routines, the morning coffee ritual, the deadlines at work, the tender exchanges with loved ones, all pursued with an unspoken faith that they lead somewhere meaningful. But what if they don't? What if the universe, in its vast expanse of stars and voids, doesn't care about your triumphs or tragedies? Camus called this clash the absurd, not as a cause for despair, but as an opportunity for awakening. It's mind-bending in its simplicity. We demand answers from a reality that offers none, like shouting questions into an empty canyon and hearing only echoes of our own voice. And tonight, as the world outside your window hushes to a murmur, this concept becomes a companion for unwinding. It encourages us to let go of the frantic search for significance, to breathe deeply into the present moment, where the absurdity transforms from a threat into a soothing balm. In this space, free from the pressure of cosmic validation, we can find a peculiar peace, a meditative tranquility that lulls the mind toward sleep, whispering that it's okay to simply be, without the need for justification. To truly grasp the whisper of the absurd, let's linger on one of the most evocative metaphors in philosophical literature, the myth of Sisyphus, as reimagined by Camus in his seminal essay. Picture a lone figure, muscles straining under the relentless sun, heaving a massive boulder up a steep hillside. With every ounce of effort, he reaches the summit, only to watch in silent resignation as the stone tumbles back down to the base, forcing him to begin anew. This endless cycle isn't just a tale of punishment from Greek mythology. Camus uses it as a profound symbol for the human condition itself. Sisyphus represents us, all our labors, our aspirations, our daily grind, pushing against the weight of existence in a world that rolls it all back, without mercy or explanation. The absurdity emerges precisely from this disconnect, our innate, almost instinctive drive for order, for meaning, for a sense of completion, clashing against a cosmos that is fundamentally chaotic, random, and devoid of any built-in purpose. It's as if we've been handed a jigsaw puzzle with pieces that refuse to interlock, no matter how cleverly we arrange them, leaving us with a fragmented picture that mocks our efforts. Historically, this notion didn't spring fully formed from Camus' mind. It has roots that stretch back through the annals of thought, weaving through the works of earlier philosophers who sensed the same undercurrent of disconnection. Søren Kierkegaard, the Danish existentialist often hailed as the father of the movement, grappled with it in the 19th century amid personal turmoil and societal upheaval. He described the leap of faith as a response to the absurd, defiant jump into belief, despite the lack of rational evidence, born from the anguish of realizing that reason alone cannot bridge the gap between our desires and the world's silence. Kierkegaard lived in an era of rapid industrialization and religious doubt, where traditional anchors like faith and community were eroding. much like the uncertainties of the 20th century that inspired world wars, genocides, and the atomic age, events that laid bare the fragility of human constructs. These thinkers used the absurd to illuminate how rationality, our prized tool for navigating life, falters when confronted with the inexplicable. It's like building a bridge over an abyss, only to find that the materials dissolve midway, leaving us suspended in uncertainty. To make this more relatable, consider everyday analogies that echo this theme. Think of a child meticulously constructing a sandcastle on the beach, pouring heart and soul into turrets and moats, only for the incoming tide to wash it away without a trace. The child's disappointment mirrors our own existential frustration, the investment of energy into something transient, erased by forces beyond control. Or envision solving a complex riddle, turning it over in your mind for hours, only to discover it has no solution, designed merely to tease the intellect. These small-scale absurdities reflect the larger cosmic one. We crave coherence in a reality that thrives on disorder. Camus and his predecessors didn't present this as a bleak endpoint, but as a starting point for reflection. In times of war and uncertainty, such as the existential crises of the mid-20th century, this concept served as a mirror, forcing societies to confront how they impose meaning on chaos through art, religion, or rebellion. As you lie here, allowing these ideas to settle, take a moment to reflect on this. Let your breath slow, inhaling the quiet acceptance that comes from recognizing the absurd, not as an enemy, but as an old friend guiding you toward inner calm. Feel the tension in your body release, like the boulder pausing at the hill's crest, before its inevitable descent, granting a fleeting but profound respite. Delving deeper, if we accept that life is inherently absurd, the implications ripple outward like concentric waves on a still pond, touching every aspect of our being and challenging the very foundations of how we live. Consider the grand pursuits that occupy so much of our time and energy, climbing career ladders, nurturing relationships, chasing ambitions that promise fulfillment. In the light of absurdity, these might reveal themselves as elaborate illusions, self-crafted distractions, designed to shield us from the yawning void of meaninglessness. We build empires of purpose, stacking achievements like bricks in a wall, only to realize that the wall encloses nothing but empty space. This realization bends the mind because it appends conventional thinking, which insists on progress, legacy, and eternal value. Society conditions us to believe that hard work yields cosmic rewards, that our stories matter in some eternal ledger, but the absurd whispers otherwise. Perhaps it's all a mirage, a way to pass the time in an indifferent universe. Yet, herein lies the paradox's most liberating twist. Camus didn't advocate despair, but a form of rebellion through joyful defiance. Instead of succumbing to nihilism, where nothing matters and apathy reigns, he proposed embracing the absurd with open eyes and a resolute heart. Imagine Sisyphus not as a tormented soul, but as one who, at the base of the hill, turns back to his task with a subtle smile, finding dignity in the act itself rather than the outcome. This challenges us to reframe our existence. Why create meaning if it's fabricated? Because in that creation, we assert our humanity against the void. It raises profound existential questions. Does fabricated purpose hold less value than an inherent one? If the universe offers no script, aren't we free to improvise our own, unbound by predestined roles? This contradiction fosters a soothing release, dissolving the pressure of needing to align with some universal significance. In its place emerges a lighter way of being, where ambitions become playful experiments rather than burdensome quests. Moreover, the absurd invites us to question the structures we've inherited: religions promising afterlife rewards, philosophies touting rational mastery, cultures idolizing success. Each, in its way, attempts to paper over the crack between desire and reality, but acknowledging the absurd peels back these layers, revealing the raw, unadorned truth. It's unsettling at first, like staring into an abyss that stares back, as Nietzsche warned, but with time, it transforms into a meditative practice. In this space, free from illusions, we can cultivate a deeper compassion for ourselves and others, recognizing that everyone pushes their own boulder up their own hill. The mind-bending aspect is how this leads not to chaos but to clarity, a serene detachment, where life's contradictions become sources of quiet, amusement rather than torment. Why persist? Because the act of persisting, in defiance of the meaningless, becomes its own reward. As night envelops you now, let these implications wash over like a gentle tide, easing the mind's chatter, softening the edges of worry, and preparing the soul for sleep's embrace. There's freedom in this release, a cosmic permission to let go, to drift without anchor into the absurd's welcoming arms. Transition to the next segment, as we settle into this defiant joy, holding the absurd close like a familiar shadow that no longer frightens but comforts. It naturally draws our thoughts toward the rhythms of repetition that define so much of existence. If meaning is ours to forge in the face of nothingness, what happens when that forging loops eternally, without variation or escape? This contemplation bridges seamlessly to Friedrich Nietzsche's haunting idea of eternal recurrence, where every moment, every choice, replays infinitely a cycle that amplifies the absurd while challenging us to affirm life in its entirety. Eternal recurrence, living the same life forever. Picture yourself lying awake in the stillness of night, the world outside your window cloaked in a velvet hush, when a chilling thought pierces the quiet. What if every moment of your life, every fleeting joy, every piercing sorrow, every mundane chore, was destined to repeat infinitely, down to the smallest detail? No escape, no alteration, just an eternal loop of the same existence. This is the heart of Friedrich Nietzsche's concept of eternal recurrence, a philosophical thought experiment so provocative it sends shivers down the spine, while simultaneously beckoning us toward a deeper affirmation of life. Introduced in his work Thus Spoke Zarathustra, this idea isn't merely a mental exercise, it's a profound challenge to how we perceive our choices, our purpose, and our place in an absurd universe. It's mind-bending because it forces us to confront the weight of our lives as if they were eternal, asking whether we could embrace every second of our existence without regret. Yet, in its eerie depth, it's also strangely soothing, especially in this moment, as we prepare to unwind, to drift into sleep's gentle embrace. The notion of eternal recurrence invites us to let go of fleeting distractions and reflect on the eternal now, making it a perfect companion for a meditative journey toward rest. It's unsettling, yes, but it carries a calming undertone, like a distant melody that lingers in the air, urging us to find peace in the idea of living our lives over and over, forever. This concept resonates with the existential absurdity we've already touched upon, amplifying it by removing the illusion of progress or finality. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast cosmic mirror, reflecting your life back at you not just once, but infinitely, each reflection identical to the last. Nietzsche's paradox is significant because it tests our courage to affirm existence in its entirety, flaws and all. In a world that offers no external validation, it's relevant tonight as we lie here, seeking tranquility, because it transforms the act of living into a deliberate, almost sacred choice. By contemplating eternal recurrence, we're invited to release the anxieties of an uncertain future and instead focus on the present moment, letting it unfold like a soft wave lapping at the shores of consciousness. The idea is both a challenge and a balm, urging us to find meaning not in some distant goal but in the texture of now, in the breath we take as we sink deeper into the pillow, preparing for sleep's quiet descent. To delve into eternal recurrence, let's begin with Nietzsche's own vivid imagery, which he presents through the voice of a demon in Thus Spoke Zarathustra. Imagine this demon appearing to you in the dead of night, whispering, "This life, as you now live it and have lived it, you will have to live once more and innumerable times more, and there will be nothing new in it, but every pain and every joy and every thought and sigh must return to you, all in the same succession and sequence." The weight of this proposition is staggering. It's not about reincarnation in the traditional sense, where you might return as someone or something else, but about reliving this life, your life, exactly as it is, forever. Every decision, every misstep, every triumph, replayed in an unending cycle, like a vinyl record caught in a groove, spinning the same song eternally. Nietzsche doesn't argue this as a literal cosmological truth, though he was inspired by scientific ideas of his time, like the cyclical models of the universe in 19th century physics. Instead, he offers it as a thought experiment, a psychological and philosophical lens to evaluate how authentically we live. If every moment recurs infinitely, would you curse the demon or embrace him as a divine messenger? Take a moment to breathe, here, letting the idea settle like a soft fog over your thoughts, inviting a gentle introspection. The roots of eternal recurrence stretch far beyond Nietzsche, intertwining with ancient philosophies that pondered cyclical time. In Hinduism, the concept of samsara describes an endless wheel of birth, death, and rebirth, where souls cycle through existences, though with variation. The Stoics of ancient Greece, too, speculated about a cosmic recurrence, where the universe resets after a great conflagration, replaying its course identically. Nietzsche, writing in the late 19th century, amid a Europe grappling with industrialization and the decline of religious certainty, adapted these ideas into a secular challenge. His era was marked by disillusionment. Darwin's theories had shaken divine creation myths, and the rise of science questioned traditional values. Against this backdrop, eternal recurrence becomes a way to confront the void left by a fading God, asking us to find value in life itself, without external salvation. Think of it as a cosmic dare. If your life is all you have, and it repeats forever, can you love it enough to say yes to every moment? To make this more tangible, consider an analogy. Picture your life as a film, one you're both the star and the sole audience member. The reels spin, projecting every scene, your proudest achievements, your quiet moments of doubt, your laughter, your tears, over and over, without edit or pause. Now imagine you have no power to rewrite the script or skip a scene. Would you watch with joy or dread? This is the essence of Nietzsche's challenge, to live so authentically that you'd welcome the eternal replay. Another analogy might be a piece of music you've composed, every note, every discord, every harmony, played on an infinite loop. Could you find beauty in its repetition, even in the dissonant chords? Nietzsche drew on earlier ideas, like the eternal cycles in Hinduism or the Stoic conflagration, but his innovation was to strip away metaphysical promises of transcendence, grounding the idea in the raw, unadorned reality of this life. Historically, this resonated in a world where traditional anchors, religion, monarchy, community, were crumbling, much like our own era of digital noise and existential drift. As you lie here, let your mind wander through a day in your life, perhaps yesterday's routine, its small joys and frustrations. Imagine it repeating forever. Pause for a moment. Breathe deeply, letting the weight of eternity soften into a quiet, reflective calm, like a candle's flicker in a darkened room. The implications of eternal recurrence ripple outward, touching every facet of how we understand our existence, bending the mind in ways that both unsettle and liberate. If every moment of your life recurs infinitely, the present becomes infinitely significant. Every choice, whether to speak kindly, to pursue a passion, or to linger in regret, carries the weight of eternity. This thought experiment forces us to confront a life stripped of the comforting illusion of a singular trajectory, where we might hope to move on from mistakes or rest on past laurels. Instead, it demands we face the eternal return of our actions, raising the stakes of the now to a cosmic level. The contradiction is stark. We live as if our choices are fleeting, yet eternal recurrence posits they are permanent, etched into an unending cycle. This challenges conventional thinking, which often views life as a linear path toward progress or redemption. Imagine waking each morning to the same day, the same conversations, the same triumphs and failures. Would you live differently? That paradox suggests that the only way to bear such a reality is to live so authentically that you'd embrace its repetition, flaws and all. This raises profound existential questions. If every moment repeats, what does it mean to regret? Can you forgive yourself for errors that will recur forever? Nietzsche's idea undermines the notion of a final resolution, where we might hope to fix our lives in some future chapter. Instead, it insists on a radical acceptance of the present, transforming regret into a call for mindful action. The mind-bending aspect lies in how it inverts our sense of time. Rather than escaping the past or banking on the future, we must inhabit the eternal now. This contradicts our societal obsession with progress, new gadgets, new goals, new self. Instead, that true freedom lies in affirming what is. Existentially, it questions the purpose of suffering. If pain returns eternally, is it meaningless, or is it essential to the texture of a life worth reliving? This paradox invites a serene rebellion, where we say yes to life, not because it leads somewhere, but because it is in all its messy, absurd glory. The calming power of this idea emerges when we release the need to control the narrative. In a world that demands constant improvement, eternal recurrence offers a meditative counterpoint, What if this moment, as it is enough? By contemplating this, we can let go of the anxiety of what's next, allowing our thoughts to settle like leaves falling gently to the ground. It's a call to live with intention, to savor the small joys: a warm drink, a kind word, a quiet night, knowing they'll return forever. This perspective fosters a gentle detachment, not from life's pleasures or pains, but from the illusion that we must transcend them to find meaning. As you rest here, let this idea wash over you like a slow, steady tide. Imagine your life's moments: yesterday's laughter, today's quiet doubts, replaying softly, eternally. There's peace in this acceptance, a soothing release from the pressure to perfect the script. Your breath slows, your body softens, and the eternal return becomes a lullaby, guiding you towards sleep's tranquil shore. Transition to the next segment as we settle into this quiet affirmation, embracing each moment as if it were eternal. The idea of recurrence naturally leads us to question the very freedom we assume in crafting those moments. If life loops endlessly, are our choices truly our own, or are they scripted by forces beyond our control? This contemplation carries us seamlessly into the paradox of free will, where the illusion of agency dances with the absurd constraints of destiny. The paradox of free wills: you lie in the quiet embrace of the night, the world outside softened to a murmur. A subtle question begins to stir in the depths of your mind. Are you truly the author of your life, or merely an actor reading lines from an unseen script? This is the paradox of free will, a philosophical enigma that tugs at the very fabric of our existence, weaving threads of autonomy and inevitability into a tapestry of existential uncertainty. It's a concept that feels both intimate and cosmic, touching every choice you've made, from the mundane decision to turn off the light to the profound moments that have shaped your path. While questioning whether those choices were ever truly yours, the paradox is profoundly unsettling because it challenges the core assumption that we are free to steer our lives. Yet it's also strangely soothing, offering a meditative release from the burden of absolute control. In the context of our journey through life's absurdities, this paradox amplifies the tension between our desire to create meaning and the possibility that the universe has already written the story. Tonight, as you prepare to drift into sleep, the idea of free will invites you to let go of the need to master every outcome, to surrender to the flow of existence like a leaf carried gently down a stream. It's a mind-bending notion, one that asks whether you're the captain of your fate or a passenger in a predetermined voyage. And in its mystery lies a calming invitation to reflect, to breathe, and to ease into the unknown. This paradox is significant because it lies at the heart of how we navigate an absurd world, one where we strive for purpose despite the universe's indifference. It's relevant in these quiet moments before sleep, as it encourages a gentle detachment from the weight of decisions, allowing us to find peace in the ambiguity of agency. By exploring free will, we confront the absurdity of acting as if we're free in a reality that might be governed by forces beyond our grasp. The thought is eerie, like realizing the ground beneath you might be an illusion, but it's also a pathway to tranquility, a reminder that letting go of control can be as liberating as claiming it. As you settle deeper into your pillow, let this paradox unfold like a soft whisper, guiding your mind toward a restful, reflective calm, where the question of freedom becomes not a source of anxiety, but a soothing melody to lull you into slumber. To unravel the paradox of free will, let's begin by framing it in its simplest form: the tension between the belief that we freely choose our actions and the possibility that every choice is determined by factors outside our control. At its core, free will suggests we are the architects of our decisions, acting with autonomy to shape our lives. You decide to rise early, to forgive a friend, to pursue a dream. These feel like expressions of your will, deliberate and self-directed. Yet determinism counters with a stark alternative. Every action, every thought, is the inevitable result of a chain of causes stretching back through time, biological, environmental, even cosmic. Imagine your life as a river. You might feel like you're steering the current, but determinism argues the riverbed was carved long before you arrived, guiding your flow with unyielding precision. This tension has captivated philosophers for centuries, from the ancient Stoics to modern neuroscientists, each grappling with the question of whether we're truly free or merely dancing to the universe's tune. Consider a relatable analogy. Choosing a flavor of ice cream at a parlor, you stand before the counter, weighing chocolate against vanilla, and finally select one. feeling the choice was yours. But determinism suggests otherwise. Your preference might stem from childhood, memories, genetic predispositions, or even the subtle nudge of a friend's suggestion earlier that day. Zoom out further, and your choice could be traced to neural firings, shaped by upbringing, culture, and biology, all conspiring to make chocolate inevitable. The 17th century philosopher Baruch Spinoza likened human freedom to a stone, believing it chooses its path as it falls, unaware of the gravity pulling it downward. In this view, our sense of freedom is an illusion, a byproduct of complex systems operating beyond our conscious control. Yet, the counter-argument persists. If we feel free, if we act as if we choose, doesn't that freedom have a kind of reality, even if it's not absolute? Pause here, take a slow breath, and reflect on a recent choice perhaps. What brought you to this moment, listening to these words? Was it truly yours, or was it written in the stars long before? Let the question linger, soft and unintrusive, like a shadow passing over the moon. Historically, the free will debate has evolved alongside human thought. In ancient Greece, the Stoics argued for a deterministic universe governed by divine reason, yet emphasized living virtuously within that framework, as if choice mattered. The rise of Christianity introduced a new layer, with theologians like Augustine wrestling with how free will could coexist with an omniscient God who knows all outcomes. Fast forward to the Enlightenment, and thinkers like Immanuel Kant sought a middle ground, proposing that we act as if we're free, even if determinism holds. In the 20th century, science added complexity. Quantum mechanics introduced elements of randomness at the subatomic level, suggesting the universe isn't entirely predictable. But does randomness equal freedom? Neuroscience further muddies the waters, with studies showing brain activity precedes conscious decisions, hinting that our choices might be initiated before we decide them. It's like discovering the script of your life is written in a language you can't read, yet you perform it flawlessly. This historical arc from divine fate to quantum uncertainty underscores the paradox's enduring grip on our imagination, a puzzle that refuses resolution yet invites endless contemplation. As you rest here, let your mind trace these threads, gently, like fingers brushing over a tapestry, feeling the texture without needing to unravel it. The implications of the free will paradox ripple outward, reshaping how we understand morality, identity, and the absurd pursuit of meaning. If our actions are determined by genes, upbringing, or cosmic laws, what becomes of moral responsibility? Conventional thinking holds us accountable. We praise courage, condemn cruelty, build systems of justice on the assumption that individuals choose their paths. But if every act is predetermined, like a domino falling in a chain, how can we blame or reward anyone? This contradiction bends the mind, unraveling the foundations of ethics. A murderer might argue their crime was inevitable, scripted by a lifetime of influences, yet society demands accountability, as if choice were real. This tension raises existential questions. If we're not free, what does it mean to strive, to regret, to aspire? The absurdity lies in acting as if we're free in a world that might be a grand machine, each gear turning the next without pause. Yet, this paradox offers a strange liberation, especially in this quiet moment before sleep. If our choices are not entirely ours, the weight of perfectionism, guilt, or indecision begins to lift. Imagine your life as a story already written not to trap you, but to free you from the illusion of needing to control every chapter. This challenges the modern obsession with self-mastery, the belief that we must sculpt our destinies through sheer will. Instead, the paradox suggests a kind of cosmic humility. Perhaps we're both free and bound, players in a game where the rules are hidden but the play is real. This duality fosters a serene detachment, not from life's joys or sorrows, but from the pressure to be the sole author of your fate. It's like sailing a boat on a river. You steer, you adjust, but the current has its own will. The mind-bending aspect is how this undermines our sense of self. If you are a product of forces, who is the I that chooses? Yet, in this dissolution lies peace, a softening of the ego's sharp edges, allowing you to sink deeper into the present moment. Existentially, the paradox amplifies the absurdity of our condition. We act with purpose in a universe that might not care, choosing as if free in a reality that could be scripted. This tension mirrors Camus' absurd hero, Sisyphus, who pushes his boulder despite its futility, finding meaning in the act itself. Whether free or determined, we live in the space between, crafting lives that feel meaningful even if the cosmos remains silent. This realization invites a meditative calm, a release from the need to resolve the unresolvable. As you lie here, let your thoughts drift like clouds across a starlit sky, unburdened by the need to pin down freedom's truth. Imagine your choices: today's kindness, yesterday's mistakes, flowing like a river, neither wholly yours nor entirely foreign. This acceptance soothes the mind, easing the weight of what-ifs and should-haves. Your breath slows, your body relaxes, and the paradox becomes a gentle lullaby, whispering that whether free or fated, this moment is enough. Transition to the next segment, as we release the tension of free will, embracing the ambiguity of our choices in an absurd universe. We're drawn to an even deeper question. If our actions might be scripted, what of the reality we inhabit? Could it, too, be an illusion, a construct, designed by forces beyond our imagining? This contemplation leads us naturally to the simulation hypothesis, where the very fabric of our existence might be nothing more than code in a cosmic machine. The simulation hypothesis is, the night wraps you in its quiet embrace, the boundaries of the world blur, and a haunting question begins to ripple through your mind. What if this moment your breath, your thoughts, the soft weight of your body against the bed is nothing more than a flicker of code in a vast, cosmic computer? Imagine waking to discover that your life, your reality, is a meticulously crafted simulation, a digital dream orchestrated by an intelligence far beyond our own. This is the simulation hypothesis, a modern philosophical puzzle popularized by thinker Nick Bostrom, which posits that we might be living within a computer-generated reality, indistinguishable from the real world. It's a mind-bending idea, one that twists the fabric of existence, suggesting that everything we know, our joys, our struggles, the stars above, could be an elaborate illusion. Yet, in its eerie depth, there's a strange comfort, a soothing invitation to release the need for ultimate certainty and drift into the mystery, perfect for this moment as we unwind towards sleep. The hypothesis amplifies the absurdity of our existence, questioning the very nature of reality, while offering a meditative lens through which to view our place in an uncertain cosmos. Tonight, as you settle deeper into the stillness, let this idea unfold like a soft veil, inviting you to ponder the nature of your world without fear, guiding you toward a restful surrender to the unknown. This concept is significant because it challenges the foundation of what we assume to be true, pushing us to confront the possibility that our reality is a construct, a shadow play on a grand screen. It's relevant in our journey through existential paradoxes because it deepens the absurdity. We've explored our search for meaning in a universe that might not only be indifferent, but entirely artificial. The simulation hypothesis is both thrilling and unsettling, like standing at the edge of a dream you can't wake from. Yet it carries a calming undertone, encouraging us to let go of the need to anchor ourselves in a real world. As you lie here, ready to drift into sleep, the idea becomes a gentle companion, urging you to embrace the mystery of existence, to let your thoughts soften like waves lapping at a distant shore, carrying you toward a peaceful, reflective slumber. 2. Grasp the simulation hypothesis. Let's start with its core argument, articulated by Nick Bostrom in his 2003 paper. He proposes three possibilities. Either advanced civilizations never reach the technological capacity to create realistic simulations of conscious beings, or they do, but choose not to. Or, if they do create such simulations, the odds are overwhelming that we are living in one, given the vast number of simulated realities compared to a single base reality. Imagine a future where technology allows beings to simulate entire universes, complete with conscious inhabitants who believe their world is real. If such simulations are common, the statistical likelihood is that we're not in the original reality, but one of countless digital constructs. It's like being a character in a video game, unaware that your world is pixels on a screen, controlled by a player or programmer beyond your comprehension. To make this vivid, picture yourself as an avatar in a game like The Sims, going about your daily tasks, feeling joy and pain, all while your actions are coded by an unseen designer. Take a moment to breathe here, letting the idea settle gently, like a leaf falling onto still water, inviting quiet wonder. The hypothesis draws on both philosophical and technological roots. Philosophically, it echoes ancient ideas, like Plato's allegory of the cave, where prisoners mistake shadows on a wall for reality, unaware of the true world beyond. In the 17th century, René Descartes pondered whether an evil demon could deceive us into believing a false reality, a precursor to modern simulation arguments. But the hypothesis gained traction in our digital age, fueled by rapid advances in computing and virtual reality. Movies like The Matrix popularized the idea, depicting humans trapped in a simulated world, their bodies harvested for energy while their minds live in a fabricated 1999. Scientifically, the hypothesis aligns with trends in artificial intelligence and simulation technology. Today's VR headsets and AI models are rudimentary compared to what might exist in a million years. If civilizations can create simulations with conscious beings, the math suggests simulated minds would vastly outnumber real ones, making our reality's authenticity statistically improbable. Consider an analogy to ground this further. Imagine you're reading a novel, fully immersed in its world, feeling the characters' triumphs and tragedies as if they were your own. Now imagine discovering you're a character in that novel, written by an author you'll never meet. Your emotions, your choices, even your sense of self, they yours or scripted. The simulation hypothesis poses a similar question, suggesting our world might be a narrative coded by an advanced intelligence, whether a future human, an alien civilization, or something incomprehensible. Historically, this resonates with our era's anxieties about technology AI systems that mimic human thought, virtual worlds that blur reality's edges. Yet, it also connects to timeless questions about illusion and truth, from ancient mysticism to modern sci-fi. As you rest here, let your mind wander through a memory, perhaps a vivid moment from today, like a conversation or a quiet walk. Could it be code, a programmed scene? Pause, let the possibility drift through you like a soft breeze, calming rather than alarming, inviting you to embrace the uncertainty as you sink deeper into relaxation. The implications of the simulation hypothesis stretch far beyond a mere thought experiment, reshaping how we view reality, meaning, and our place in an absurd universe. If we're in a simulation, the very concept of reality dissolves, leaving us to question what's real and whether it matters. Conventionally, we assume our world is solid. Trees grow, hearts beat, stars burn. But if it's all code, our joys and sorrows, our grandest achievements, might be nothing more than data points in a cosmic algorithm. This is mind-bending because it upends our trust in sensory experience, suggesting that the coffee you sipped this morning or the warmth of a loved one's embrace could be digital illusions, no more substantial than a dream. Yet this realization carries a paradoxical liberation. If reality is a construct, the pressure to find ultimate meaning in an indifferent universe softens, replaced by a gentle freedom to create meaning within the simulation's bounds. This contradiction raises profound existential questions. If we're simulated, does our suffering have purpose, or is it just a scripted plot twist? Does love lose its value if it's coded, or does it gain depth because we feel it so vividly? The hypothesis challenges traditional notions of authenticity, suggesting that a simulated life might be as meaningful as a real one if the experiences feel genuine to us. It's like asking whether a beautifully painted sunset is less moving because it's on canvas rather than in the sky. The absurdity lies in our persistent search for truth in a reality that might be a fiction, echoing Camus' Sisyphus, who finds dignity in his futile task. If we're in a simulation, our struggle for purpose becomes a defiant act of creation, a rebellion against the possibility that we're mere programs. This perspective invites a serene acceptance, whether real or simulated. Our emotions, our connections, our moments of quiet reflection are ours to cherish. The mind-bending aspect deepens when we consider the simulator's intent. Are we part of an experiment, a game, or an archive of a lost civilization? If so, our suffering might serve a purpose beyond our understanding, entertainment for a higher being, data for a cosmic study. This raises ethical questions. Is it moral to create sentient beings who believe they're free, only to trap them in loops of pain and joy? Yet, from our perspective, the simulation's reality is all we know, and questioning it can feel like shouting into a void. This tension fosters a meditative calm, a release from the need to prove our world's authenticity. Instead, we can focus on the texture of now, the softness of your breath, the gentle rhythm of your heartbeat, finding peace in the act of living, simulated or not. As you lie here, let these implications wash over you like a slow tide, dissolving the need for certainty. Imagine your life as a story, whether coded or cosmic, and let the beauty of its unfolding lull you towards sleep. The paradox becomes a soothing whisper. Real or not, this moment is yours. A fleeting note in an eternal symphony. Transition to the next segment as we drift through the possibility that our reality is a simulation. The question of our place in the cosmos grows even more poignant. If we're coded beings, are we alone in this digital universe, or do others share the stage? This contemplation leads us seamlessly to the Fermi paradox, where the eerie silence of the stars challenges our assumptions about life, intelligence, and system. The Fermi paradox, where the eerie silence of the stars challenges our assumptions about life, intelligence, and our place in a potentially simulated cosmos. The Fermi paradox, silence in the stars as the night deepens and the world outside your window fades into a quiet expanse. Imagine turning your gaze upward to the countless stars glittering in the velvet sky, each one a sun, potentially orbited by worlds teeming with life. Yet, where are they? Why does the cosmos remain so eerily silent? This is the Fermi paradox, named after physicist Enrico Fermi, who famously asked, "Where is everybody?" in the face of a universe that seems ripe for intelligent life, yet offers no evidence of it. It's a question that stirs a profound sense of existential isolation, amplifying the absurdity of our search for meaning in a universe that might be indifferent, not just to our existence, but to all life. The paradox is mind-bending because it juxtaposes the statistical likelihood of extraterrestrial civilizations with the deafening absence of their signals, challenging our assumptions about our place in the cosmic order. Yet, in its unsettling mystery, there's a calming invitation to reflect on our solitude, to let go of the need for cosmic companionship and embrace the quiet wonder of our own fleeting existence. Tonight, as you sink into the stillness, this paradox becomes a meditative guide, urging you to ponder the vastness of the universe while finding peace in the simplicity of this moment, lulling you toward sleep with its haunting reflective depth. This paradox is significant because it forces us to confront the possibility that humanity might be alone or that the universe is structured in ways that make connection impossible, deepening the absurd tension between our desire for purpose and the cosmos's silence. It's relevant in our journey through existential enigmas because it mirrors the inner isolation we feel when grappling with life's meaning, offering a soothing perspective. Perhaps our solitude is not a flaw, but a unique spark in an indifferent void. As you lie here, the Fermi paradox becomes a gentle companion, encouraging you to release the weight of cosmic expectations and drift into a serene acceptance of the unknown. Like a starlight whisper guiding you to rest, the Fermi paradox arises from a simple yet profound observation. Given the vastness of the universe, billions of galaxies, each with billions of stars and potentially habitable planets, intelligent life should be abundant, yet we see no signs of it. Enrico Fermi posed this question in the 1950s during a casual conversation, but it has since become a cornerstone of astrobiology and existential philosophy. The paradox is rooted in the Drake equation, a formula estimating the number of communicative extraterrestrial civilizations in our galaxy. With optimistic input, say, millions of potentially habitable planets and a fraction developing intelligent life, we should expect signals, visits, or artifacts. Yet, our searches through radio telescopes, like SETI, or probes scanning distant worlds, yield only silence. It's as if you stood in a bustling forest, shouting for others, but heard only the wind's soft reply. An eerie quiet that defies expectation. Picture the universe as a cosmic city, its streets lined with countless homes, yet every door you knock on remains unanswered. Take a moment to reflect on this. Let the vastness of that silence settle over you like a gentle blanket, inviting quiet awe. Historically, the paradox emerged in the mid-20th century as humanity's scientific reach expanded. The space age, with its satellites and telescopes, fueled optimism about finding alien life, inspired by sci-fi visions of interstellar federations. Yet, as decades passed without contact, Fermi's question gained weight. Possible explanations known as solutions to the paradox abound. The Great Filter hypothesis suggests a barrier, like rare life emergence or inevitable self-destruction, prevents civilizations from reaching us. Others propose the zoo hypothesis, where aliens observe us silently, like curators of a cosmic exhibit, or that life is common but intelligence is rare. Some argue advanced civilizations use undetectable communication, like quantum signals, or have transcended physical form entirely. These ideas draw from diverse fields: biology, sociology, technology rooted in our growing understanding of the universe's scale, from Copernicus's heliocentrism to modern exoplanet discoveries. To ground this, imagine hosting a grand party, sending invitations across the galaxy. But no guests arrive, not because they don't exist, but because the distances are too vast, the timing misaligned, or the invitations lost. As you rest here, let this cosmic solitude soften your thoughts, like stars fading into dawn's light, calming your mind for sleep. The Fermi paradox's implications stretch far beyond astronomy, touching the core of our existential condition and amplifying the absurdity of our place in the cosmos. If intelligent life is abundant yet silent, it challenges our anthropocentric view that humanity is central or destined for cosmic connection. Conventionally, we imagine a universe brimming with life, like a galactic marketplace buzzing with activity, yet the silence suggests we might be alone, or that civilizations self-destruct before reaching out. This contradiction bends the mind. The universe appears designed for life, fine-tuned constants, habitable zones, yet offers no evidence of others. It's like preparing a grand feast for guests who never show, leaving us to dine alone. This raises profound questions. Are we an anomaly, a fleeting spark in a barren cosmos? Does the silence imply doom, suggesting that advanced societies collapse under their own weight through war, environmental ruin, or technological hubris? The paradox undermines optimistic sci-fi narratives of interstellar alliances, forcing us to confront a universe that might be indifferent not just to our meaning but to life itself. This amplifies the absurdity we've explored. We seek purpose, connection, a cosmic community, yet the stars remain mute. Existentially, this isolation questions humanity's significance. Are our achievements, our art, our struggles, mere whispers in an empty void? The great filter hypothesis is particularly chilling. If it lies ahead, our own advancement could lead to annihilation, making our progress a double-edged sword. Yet, this bleakness carries a soothing flip side. If we're alone, our existence becomes uniquely precious, a singular symphony in a silent universe. This perspective fosters a meditative humility, urging us to cherish our fleeting moment rather than pine for absent neighbors. The mind-bending aspect is how the paradox inverts our expectations. The universe's silence doesn't diminish us, but highlights our rarity. Like a lone flower in a desert, this realization invites a serene rebellion against despair. If the cosmos is empty, our acts of creation, love, art, curiosity become defiant affirmations of existence, echoing Camus' Sisyphus finding joy in his futile task. The paradox raises questions about our legacy. If no one hears our story, does it matter? Perhaps the value lies in the telling, not the audience. As you lie here, let the vastness of the silent stars wash over you like a gentle tide, dissolving the need for cosmic validation. Imagine humanity as a lone beacon, its light unseen but radiant nonetheless. This acceptance soothes the mind, easing the weight of longing for contact. Your breath slows, your thoughts soften, and the paradox becomes a lullaby, whispering that our solitude is not a curse but a call to embrace the beauty of our singular now, guiding you toward sleep's tranquil embrace. Transition to the next segment. This cosmic loneliness, echoing in the silence of the stars, draws us inward, to the deepest solitude of all, the possibility that only our own mind exists. If the universe is empty, what if our reality is merely a projection of our consciousness? This question carries us seamlessly to solipsism, where the boundaries of self and world dissolve into a singular, haunting mystery. Solipsism, the lonely universe of self. As the night deepens and the quiet of your surroundings wraps you in a gentle cocoon, a peculiar thought begins to stir, like a whisper from the edges of your consciousness. What if you are the only being that truly exists, and everything else, the people you love, the world you navigate, even the stars above us, merely a projection of your mind? This is the essence of solipsism, a philosophical idea so profound and isolating that it bends the very fabric of reality, suggesting that your consciousness might be the sole reality, with all else a dream woven by your own imagination. Its a concept that feels both haunting and strangely liberating as it strips away the external world, leaving only the self in a vast, solitary universe. In the context of our exploration of existential absurdities, solipsism amplifies the tension between our longing for connection and the possibility that no one else truly exists, making it a mind-bending paradox that challenges our deepest assumptions about reality. Yet, in its eerie solitude, there's a soothing invitation, perfect for this moment as you unwind toward sleep. It encourages you to release the weight of external validation, to find peace in the inner world of your thoughts, like a single flame glowing in an endless void. Tonight, as you settle deeper into the stillness, let solipsism guide you, softening your mind into a meditative flow, lulling you toward rest with its quiet, introspective mystery. This paradox is significant because it pushes the boundaries of existential inquiry to their extreme, questioning the existence of everything beyond the self and highlighting the absurdity of seeking meaning in a world that might be a mere illusion. It's relevant now, as you prepare to drift into sleep, because it invites a gentle detachment from the external chaos, urging you to find tranquility within your own consciousness. The idea is unsettling, like realizing you're alone on a stage with no audience, yet it offers a calming perspective. If the world is your creation, you are free to shape its meaning. As you lie here, let this thought unfold like a soft veil, easing you into a reflective calm, guiding you toward sleep's serene embrace with the quiet wonder of being the universe's sole dreamer. Solipsism, derived from the Latin solus ipse, meaning alone self, posits that only your own mind can be known to exist with certainty, and everything else, other people, objects, the universe itself, might be a construct of your consciousness. It's a radical extension of philosophical skepticism, most famously articulated by René Descartes in his Meditations on First Philosophy, where he declared, "I think, therefore I am," establishing the self's existence as the only undeniable truth. Beyond this, solipsism suggests that the external world, from the chirping of crickets outside to the faces of loved ones, could be an elaborate illusion, like a dream so vivid you mistake it for reality. Imagine waking each morning, interacting with a world that feels solid, only to suspect it's a projection, like a hologram cast by your mind. To make this tangible, picture yourself as the sole author of a vast novel, every character and scene, born from your imagination, yet so immersive that you forget you're the writer. Take a slow breath here, letting the idea settle gently, like a leaf drifting onto a still pond, inviting quiet introspection. The concept has deep historical roots, weaving through philosophy across cultures and eras. In ancient Greece, the soft Gorgias touched on similar ideas, arguing that nothing exists, or if it does, we cannot know it. Eastern philosophies, like certain interpretations of Advaita Vedanta in Hinduism, echo solipsism by suggesting the world is Mayan illusion created by consciousness. In the 17th century, Descartes' methodical doubt laid the groundwork, questioning everything except the self's thinking existence. George Berkeley, an 18th century idealist, took it further, proposing that objects exist only as perceptions in a mind, though he relied on God to sustain them. Solipsism, in its purest form, discards even this, leaving the individual mind as the sole reality. In the modern era, the idea resonates with our digital age, where virtual realities and AI simulations blur the line between real and imagined, evoking scenarios like The Matrix, where the world is a fabricated construct. To ground this further, consider a dream you've had vivid, populated with people and places, yet all conjured by your sleeping mind. What if waking life is no different? As you rest here, let your thoughts wander through a moment from today, a conversation, a glance at the sky. Could it be a dream woven by your consciousness? Pause. Let the possibilities soften your mind, like a gentle wave lapping at the shore, preparing you for sleep's quiet descent. The implications of solipsism ripple outward, reshaping how we understand reality, relationships, and the absurd pursuit of meaning. If only your mind exists, the external world, friends, family, society becomes a fiction, a projection like shadows on a cave wall. This is profoundly unsettling because it undermines the connections we cherish, suggesting that love, conflict, and community are mere figments of your imagination. Conventionally, we assume others are as real as we are, their thoughts and feelings as vivid, yet solipsism challenges this. proposing that you're the sole actor in a play where everyone else is a prop. This contradiction bends the mind. We crave connection, build lives around shared experiences. Yet solipsism whispers that we might be alone. Our relationship's a monologue disguised as dialogue. It's like performing a duet with a mirror, believing the reflection sings back. This raises existential questions. If others don't exist, what is the value of empathy, of sacrifice, of love? Does meaning dissolve if it's all a illusion? Yet, within this isolation lies a paradoxical liberation, especially in this quiet moment before sleep. If the world is your creation, you are free to imbue it with whatever meaning you choose, unburdened by external judgments or cosmic expectations. This challenges conventional thinking, which ties meaning to shared realities, cultural norms, collective goals, or universal truths. Solipsism inverts this, suggesting that meaning is an act of personal creation, like painting a canvas in a void. The absurdity lies in living as if others are real, as if their joys and pains matter, in a reality that might be your own dream. This mirrors Camus' absurd hero, Sisyphus, who finds dignity in his futile task, crafting purpose in defiance of meaninglessness. Existentially, solipsism questions the nature of suffering. If pain is a projection, can you reshape it? If joy is yours alone, does it lose its warmth, or does it burn brighter? The mind-bending aspect is how this paradox dissolves the boundaries of self and world, leaving you both creator and creation, a solitary god in an imagined cosmos. This perspective fosters a meditative calm, a release from the need to anchor meaning in an external reality. If you are the sole dreamer, your thoughts, your emotions, your quiet moments of reflection become the universe's entirety, precious in their singularity. This invites a gentle detachment not from life's richness, but from the pressure to validate it through others. As you lie here, let the implications of solipsism wash over you like a slow tide, easing the weight of external expectations. Imagine your life as a story you're telling yourself, every laugh, every tear, a chapter you've written. Whether others are real or not, this moment feels vivid, and that's enough. Your breath slows, your body softens, and the paradox becomes a soothing lullaby, whispering that you are the center of your universe, guiding you toward sleep's tranquil embrace. The eerie solitude transforms into a quiet empowerment. If all is your dream, you are free to dream beautifully, to find peace in the act of being, alone yet whole. Transition to the next segment, as we linger in the solitude of solipsism, embracing the possibility that our consciousness is the universe's sole reality. We begin to wonder about the self itself, how it persists, how it changes. If we are the only dreamer, who are we across time? This question carries us seamlessly to the ship of Theseus, where the boundaries of identity blur, inviting us to explore the absurdity of a self that transforms yet remains. The ship of Theseus, fading identities, the night settles around you, its quiet weight pressing gently against your senses. A subtle question begins to drift through your mind like a whisper carried on the wind. If every part of your body, your memories, your essence changes over time, are you still the same person you were yesterday, a decade ago, or even in the fleeting moments of childhood? This is the paradox of the ship of Theseus, an ancient philosophical puzzle that probes the nature of identity, challenging our assumption that we remain a fixed self amidst life's constant flux. Named after a mythical ship whose parts were gradually replaced, the paradox asks whether an object or a person remains the same when all its components are renewed. It's a mind-bending idea, one that unravels the certainty of who we are, suggesting that our identity might be as fluid as the shadows dancing on your ceiling tonight. Yet, in its unsettling depth, there's a soothing invitation, perfect for this moment as you unwind toward sleep. The paradox encourages you to release the need to cling to a static self, to embrace the flow of change like a river carrying you gently downstream. In our journey through existential absurdities, this paradox amplifies the tension between our desire for permanence and the reality of impermanence, offering a meditative lens to view our fleeting existence. As you lie here, let this idea unfold like a soft melody, easing your thoughts into a reflective calm, guiding you towards sleep's tranquil embrace with the quiet wonder of a self that fades yet endures. This paradox is significant because it strikes at the heart of how we define ourselves, questioning the continuity of identity in a world where everything transforms. It's relevant now, as you prepare to drift into slumber. because it invites a gentle detachment from the rigid concept of you, fostering peace in the acceptance of life's ceaseless evolution. The Ship of Theseus is both haunting and liberating, like realizing you're a story rewritten with each passing moment. Yet it carries a calming undertone, urging you to find serenity in the flux. Tonight, let this paradox be your companion, softening the edges of selfhood, lulling you into rest with its reflective mystery. The Ship of Theseus paradox originates from a thought experiment attributed to the ancient Greek historian Plutarch. Though it draws on earlier philosophical musings, the story goes that Theseus, the mythical hero of Athens, sailed a ship that was preserved as a monument. Over time, as its wooden planks decayed, they were replaced one by one with new ones, until no original parts remained. The question arises, is it still the same ship? If every plank, sail, and nail is new, what makes it Theseus's ship? The paradox extends beyond objects to living beings, particularly humans, whose cell skin, blood, even bones, renew roughly every 7 to 10 years. Your body today shares little material with the one you had as a child, yet you feel like the same person. It's as if you're a river, its waters ever changing, yet called by the same name. Imagine standing before a mirror, seeing a face that's both familiar and foreign, shaped by years of growth and loss. Take a slow breath here, letting the idea settle gently, like a leaf falling onto a still pond, inviting quiet introspection. Philosophically, the paradox challenges our understanding of identity's persistence. Ancient thinkers like Herodotus, who famously said, "You cannot step into the same river twice," hinted at this flux, suggesting that change is the essence of existence. Plato and Aristotle wrestled with similar questions, debating whether an object's identity lies in its form or its material. In the modern era, the paradox resonates with neuroscience and psychology, which reveal how memories, personality, and even consciousness evolve. Your brain rewires itself daily, shaped by experiences, yet you carry a sense of continuity, like a melody that shifts key but remains recognizable. To ground this, consider a cherished possession, a journal. Perhaps, its pages replaced over time as they yellow and tear. Is it still the same journal if every page is new? Now apply this to yourself. Your thoughts, your body, your beliefs have shifted since childhood, yet you claim them as yours. Historically, the paradox gained traction in Enlightenment debates about personal identity, with thinkers like John Locke arguing that memory, not substance, defines the self. Yet, if memories fade or are altered, what remains? As you rest here, let your mind wander through a memory, perhaps a childhood moment, vivid yet distant. Are you still that child? Pause. Let the question soften your thoughts, like a gentle wave lapping at the shore, preparing you for sleep's quiet descent. The implications of the Ship of Theseus ripple through our understanding of selfhood, morality, and the absurd pursuit of meaning, challenging the comforting notion of a fixed identity. Conventionally, we view ourselves as stable entities, carrying a consistent eye through life's journey. We build narratives, careers, relationships, legacies, assuming a core self endures. Yet, the paradox suggests that this self is an illusion, a construct pieced together from ever-changing parts. If your body, mind, and memories are replaced over time, what makes you you? This is mind-bending because it undermines the foundation of personal identity, suggesting that we're less a solid entity and more a process, a fleeting pattern like ripples on water. It's as if you're a painting, redrawn daily with new strokes, yet called by the same name. This raises existential questions. If you're not the same person you were, who is accountable for past actions? Do promises made by a younger self bind the person you are now? The contradiction lies in how we live, as if our identity is fixed, while everything about us transforms. Society reinforces this, holding us responsible for past deeds, celebrating lifelong achievements, as if a single thread runs through our lives. Yet, the paradox reveals this thread as a fiction, a story we tell to navigate an absurd world. This challenges conventional thinking, which ties identity to permanence, whether through a soul, a legal name, or a social role. It amplifies the absurdity we've explored. We seek meaning through a self that doesn't endure, crafting purpose in a reality where self is a moving target. If you're not the same person who made a mistake years ago, why carry its guilt? If you're not the same person who fell in love, what sustains that bond? These questions dissolve the rigid boundaries of selfhood, inviting a serene acceptance of change as the essence of being. This realization carries a soothing liberation, especially in this quiet moment before sleep. If your identity is fluid, the pressure to define yourself to be a certain type of person, to live up to past versions of you begins to lift. It's like shedding an old skin, allowing your current self to breathe freely, unburdened by the weight of who you were, or who you must become. The mind-bending aspect is how this paradox redefines continuity. Perhaps identity lies not in sameness but in the act of becoming, a dance of transformation that's uniquely yours. This perspective fosters a meditative calm, urging you to embrace the present moment, your breath, your thoughts, your quiet presence, without clinging to a fixed you. As you lie here, let the implications of the ship of Theseus wash over you like a slow tide, easing the need to anchor your identity in permanence. Imagine your life as a river, its waters ever renewing, yet carrying the same name. Whether you're the same or different, this moment is vivid, and that's enough. Your breath slows, your body softens, and the paradox becomes a lullaby, whispering that you are both fleeting and eternal, guiding you towards sleep's tranquil embrace. Transition to the next segment, as we embrace the fluid nature of identity, releasing the need for a fixed self in an absurd universe. We're drawn to another layer of ambiguity, the boundaries that define the world around us. If our identity fades with change, what happens when distinctions blur, when even the simplest concepts dissolve? This question carries us seamlessly to the Sorites paradox, where the line between something and nothing fades into a quiet, perplexing mystery. The Sorites paradox. When does a heap become nothing? As the night enfolds you in its quiet embrace, the world outside your window softening into a gentle hush, a subtle question begins to drift through your mind like a faint breeze. If you remove one grain of sand from a heap, it remains a heap, but if you keep removing grains, when does it cease to be one? This is the Sorites paradox, an ancient philosophical puzzle that unravels the boundaries of our concepts, revealing the slippery nature of definitions we take for granted. Named after the Greek word soros, meaning heap, this paradox challenges our ability to pinpoint when something transforms into nothing, exposing the absurdity of our reliance on clear categories in a world of vague transitions. It's a mind-bending idea, one that dissolves the certainty of distinctions, big or small, self or other, existence or void, suggesting that reality might be far less defined than we assume. Yet, in its unsettling ambiguity, there's a soothing invitation perfect for this moment. As you unwind toward sleep, the paradox encourages you to release the need for rigid boundaries, to embrace the flow of life's gradual shifts, like a river smoothing stones over time. In our journey through existential absurdities, the Sorites paradox amplifies the tension between our desire for clarity and the blurred edges of reality, offering a meditative lens to view the world's fluidity. As you lie here, let this idea unfold like a soft whisper, easing your thoughts into a reflective calm, guiding you toward sleep's tranquil embrace with the quiet wonder of a world without sharp lines. This paradox is significant because it undermines the precision we impose on existence, questioning how we categorize everything from objects to identities in an absurdly vague universe. It's relevant now, as you prepare to drift into slumber, because it invites a gentle detachment from the need to define and control, fostering peace in the acceptance of life's ambiguity. The Sorites paradox is both haunting and liberating, like watching a sunset fade imperceptibly into dusk, yet it carries a calming undertone, urging you to find serenity in the blur. Tonight, let this paradox be your companion, softening the edges of certainty, lulling you into rest with its reflective mystery. The Sorites paradox, first articulated by the ancient Greek philosopher Eubulides of Miletus, emerges from a deceptively simple scenario. Start with a heap of sand, say 1,000 grains. Remove one grain, surely it's still a heap. Remove another, and another, each time seemingly inconsequential. But continue this process, and eventually you're left with a single grain, or none at all. At what point does the heap cease to be a heap? The paradox lies in the impossibility of identifying a precise moment of transformation, revealing the vagueness inherent in our concepts. It's as if you're tracing the outline of a cloud, unable to pinpoint where it begins or ends, yet we rely on such outlines to navigate reality. To make this tangible, Imagine a pile of autumn leaves in your yard. Draking one away doesn't change its status as a pile. But as you continue, the pile dwindles until it's gone. When did it stop being a pile? The question feels slippery, like trying to grasp water in your hands. Take a slow breath here, letting the idea settle gently, like dust motes drifting in a moonlit room, inviting quiet introspection. The paradox extends beyond heaps to countless concepts we use daily: old, rich, even alive. Consider aging. You don't become old in a single moment, yet we label people as young or old, as if there's a clear line. Philosophically, the Sorites paradox challenges the classical logic of bivalence, which assumes things are either true or false, a heap or not a heap. Ubulides, a contemporary of Aristotle, used it to expose the limits of language and categorization, a concern echoed in later philosophy. In the 20th century, thinkers like Ludwig Wittgenstein explored vagueness, suggesting that meaning arises from use, not precise boundaries. Scientifically, the paradox resonates with gradual processes: erosion, evolution, or the fading of a star, where change is continuous, not sudden. Historically, it gained traction in debates about logic and language, particularly in the Hellenistic period, when paradoxes were tools to test philosophical rigor. In our modern era, it connects to fuzzy logic and AI, where systems grapple with imprecise categories, mirroring human reasoning's ambiguity. To ground this further, picture a candle burning down through the night. Each moment it's still a candle, yet at some point, it's merely wax. When did it stop being a candle? As you rest here, let your thoughts wander through a gradual change in your life, perhaps growing up, or a friendship fading. Can you pinpoint the moment it shifted? Pause. Let the ambiguity soften your mind, like a gentle wave smoothing a shoreline, preparing you for sleep's quiet descent. The implications of the Sorites paradox ripple through our understanding of reality, identity, and the absurd pursuit of meaning. Challenging the rigid categories we impose on an inherently fluid world. Conventionally, we rely on clear distinctions. A person is alive or dead. A thing is big or small. A self is consistent or changed. Yet, the paradox reveals these boundaries as illusions, constructed to make sense of a reality that resists definition. If removing one grain doesn't change a heap, yet enough removals dissolve it, where does the truth lie? This is mind-bending because it undermines the certainty of our concepts, suggesting that the lines we draw between self and other, existence and non-existence, are arbitrary. It's as if you're painting a picture with colors that blend imperceptibly, yet we insist on naming each shade. This raises existential questions. If our categories are vague, what anchors our understanding of the world? If the self evolves gradually, like a heap losing grains, who are we at any given moment? The contradiction lies in how we live, as if boundaries are real, while reality operates in gradients. Society demands precision legal definitions of life, wealth, or responsibility, yet the paradox shows these are fictions imposed on a world of flux. This amplifies the absurdity we've explored. We seek clarity in a universe that thrives on ambiguity, crafting meaning through labels that dissolve under scrutiny. Existentially, it questions the stability of identity and purpose. If you're a different person with each passing year, as cells and memories shift, what does it mean to pursue a lifelong goal? If life fades gradually, like a heap into nothing, when does it end? This challenges conventional thinking, which assumes fixed categories: youth, adulthood, successes, if they're immutable. The paradox suggests instead that life is a process, not a series of discrete states, inviting a serene acceptance of its fluidity. This realization carries a soothing liberation, especially in this quiet moment before sleep. If boundaries are illusory, the pressure to define yourself to be a certain type of person, to achieve a specific milestone, begins to lift. It's like releasing a tightly held rope, allowing your mind to float freely in the stream of existence. The mind-bending aspect is how the paradox redefines reality. Perhaps meaning lies not in pinning down distinctions, but in embracing the blur, the gradual unfolding of life. This perspective fosters a meditative calm, urging you to savor the present moment, your breath, your thoughts, your quiet presence, without needing to categorize it as enough or not enough. As you lie here, let the implications of the Sorites paradox wash over you like a slow tide, easing the need for sharp lines. Imagine your life as a fading melody, its notes blending into one another, yet beautiful in their impermanence. Whether you're a heap or a single grain, This moment is vivid, and that's enough. Your breath slows, your body softens, and the paradox becomes a lullaby, whispering that life's ambiguity is not a flaw but a gentle flow, guiding you towards sleep's tranquil embrace. Transition to the next segment, as we embrace the blurred boundaries of the Socrates paradox, releasing the need for clear distinctions in an absurdly vague universe. We're drawn to a darker question. If our concepts of self and reality dissolve, what of the suffering that defines so much of existence? This contemplation carries us seamlessly to the problem of evil, where the presence of pain challenges our notions of a benevolent order, inviting us to explore the absurdity of a world that hurts without reason. The problem of evil, suffering in a supposedly good world, as the night cradles you in its quiet embrace, the world beyond your window, softening into a gentle hush. A profound question begins to stir, like a shadow moving across your mind. If the universe is guided by a benevolent force, a loving creator who designs with purpose, why does suffering weave so deeply through the fabric of existence? This is the problem of evil, an ancient philosophical paradox that challenges the notion of a good, all-powerful deity coexisting with the pain and cruelty that mark our world. Attributed to the Greek philosopher Epicurus, this paradox pierces the heart of our search for meaning, exposing the absurdity of expecting order and kindness from a universe that often delivers chaos and sorrow. It's a mind-bending idea, one that unravels the comforting narratives of divine justice, suggesting that suffering might lack reason or resolution. Yet, in its haunting depth, there's a soothing invitation, perfect for this moment, as you unwind towards sleep. The paradox encourages you to release the need for cosmic fairness, to find peace in the acceptance of life's inexplicable hurts, like a river flowing calmly despite its turbulent currents. In our journey through existential absurdities, the problem of evil amplifies the tension between our desire for a purposeful world and the reality of its indifference, offering a meditative lens to view our struggles with serenity. As you lie here, let this idea unfold like a soft whisper, easing your thoughts into a reflective calm, guiding you towards sleep's tranquil embrace with the quiet wonder of a world that hurts yet endures. This paradox is significant because it confronts the foundations of faith and reason, questioning how a universe of supposed goodness can harbor such pervasive suffering. It's relevant now, as you prepare to drift into slumber, because it invites a gentle detachment from the need to justify pain, fostering peace in the acknowledgement of life's contradictions. The problem of evil is both unsettling and liberating, like gazing into a stormy sky and finding beauty in its chaos, urging you to rest in the mystery rather than fight it. Tonight, let this paradox be your companion, softening the edges of suffering, lulling you into rest with its reflective mystery. The problem of evil, often framed as a logical dilemma, asks how an all-powerful, all-knowing, and all-good deity can allow evil and suffering to exist. Epicurus, in the 4th century BCE, articulated it succinctly: if God is willing to prevent evil but unable, he is not omnipotent. If able but unwilling, he is not benevolent. If both willing and able, why does evil exist? This paradox challenges theistic frameworks, particularly in monotheistic traditions like Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, which posit a perfect creator. Imagine a parent who could stop their child's pain but chooses not to. Such inaction feels incompatible with love, yet theistic beliefs often place God in this role. To make this tangible, picture a world designed like a garden, intended to bloom with beauty, yet filled with thorns that prick without reason. Suffering, disease, war, personal loss seems to mock the idea of a caring overseer. Take a slow breath here, letting the weight of this question settle gently, like a leaf falling onto a still pond, inviting quiet introspection. Taught historically, the paradox has been a cornerstone of theological and philosophical debate. In the Hebrew Bible, the book of Job grapples with it, depicting a righteous man enduring inexplicable suffering, his pleas for answers met with divine mystery rather than clarity. Early Christian theologians like Augustine argued that evil stems from human free will, a necessary cost for autonomy, while others, like Irenaeus, suggested suffering serves a soul-making purpose, refining character through trials. In the Enlightenment, thinkers like David Hume and Voltaire, stirred by events like the 1755 Lisbon earthquake, used the paradox to critique religious optimism, highlighting the absurdity of reconciling a good God with a world of pain. In the modern era, the paradox resonates with secular critiques, as genocides, pandemics, and natural disasters amplify the question, why does a supposedly good world hurt so much? Scientifically, evolutionary biology adds complexities, emerges from natural processes like competition and survival, not divine intent, yet this offers little comfort to those in pain. To ground this further, reflect on a personal hardship or loss, a struggle, a moment of unfairness. What purpose could it serve in a benevolent design? As you rest here, let your thoughts wander through such a moment, not to solve it, but to let it soften, like a distant storm fading into calm, preparing you for sleep's quiet descent. The implications of the problem of evil ripple through our understanding of morality, purpose, and the absurd pursuit of meaning, challenging the narratives that anchor our sense of justice. Conventionally, we assume a moral order: good is rewarded, evil punished, whether by divine will or cosmic balance. Yet, the persistence of suffering, children starving, wars raging, diseases striking indiscriminately contradicts this, suggesting a universe indifferent to our notions of fairness. This is mind-bending, because it appends the belief that goodness governs reality, proposing instead that pain might be random, without purpose or resolution. It's as if you're playing a game where the rules promise victory for virtue, but the board is rigged with traps. No one explains. This raises existential questions. If suffering lacks reason, what sustains our hope? If the universe is not just, what grounds our morality? The contradiction lies in how we live, as if fairness exists, while reality delivers chaos. Religious traditions offer answers: free will, divine plans, or afterlife rewards, but the paradox persists. Why must the innocent suffer now? Secular perspectives, viewing suffering as a byproduct of natural processes, fare little better, as they leave the why unanswered. This amplifies the absurdity we've explored. We seek meaning in a world that offers pain without explanation, crafting purpose in defiance of apparent indifference. Existentially, the paradox questions the value of our struggles. If suffering serves no higher purpose, is it merely a cruel jest? Yet, this bleakness carries a liberating flip side, especially in this quiet moment before sleep. If pain is not a divine test or cosmic punishment, we're free to redefine its role, to find meaning in our response to it, rather than its cause. This echoes Camus' absurd hero, Sisyphus, who finds dignity in pushing his boulder despite its futility, embracing the act over the outcome. This perspective fosters a meditative calm, urging you to release the need to justify suffering. If the universe owes us no fairness, we're liberated to create our own compassion, to alleviate pain where we can, not because it's ordained, but because it's human. The mind-bending aspect is how the paradox redefines morality. Without a benevolent order, our acts of kindness become defiant rebellions against absurdity, shining brighter in a world that doesn't care. This invites a serene acceptance not of suffering itself, but of our power to respond with love, resilience, or quiet endurance. As you lie here, let the implications of the problem of evil wash over you like a slow tide, easing the weight of unanswered questions. Imagine your struggles past or present as waves in a vast ocean, neither good nor evil, but part of the flow. Whether the world is just or not, this moment is yours, vivid and fleeting. Your breath slows, your body softens, and the paradox becomes a lullaby, whispering that meaning lies not in solving suffering, but in living through it, guiding you toward sleep's tranquil embrace. Transition to the next segment, as we release the need to resolve the mystery of suffering. Embracing our defiance in an absurdly indifferent world, we're drawn to another choice, whether to believe in a cosmic order despite its contradictions. This contemplation carries us seamlessly to Pascal's wager, where the gamble of faith confronts the absurdity of uncertainty, inviting us to weigh eternity in the quiet of the night. Pascal's wager, betting on eternity's the night, enfolds you in its gentle hush, the world beyond your window fading into a quiet void. A subtle question begins to ripple through your mind like a soft current. If the existence of a divine being is uncertain, should you bet on belief, wagering your life on the possibility of an eternal reward? This is Pascal's wager, a philosophical proposition crafted by the 17th century mathematician and thinker Blaise Pascal, which frames faith as a calculated gamble in the face of cosmic uncertainty. It's a paradox that dances on the edge of reason suggesting that believing in God might be the rational choice, not because of evidence, but because of the potential consequences of being right or wrong. The idea is profoundly unsettling, as it reduces the profound question of divinity to a pragmatic bet. Yet it's also strangely soothing, offering a framework to navigate the absurd unknown as you unwind towards sleep. In our journey through Existential Paradoxes, Pascal's wager amplifies the tension between our desire for certainty and the reality of an unknowable universe, challenging us to make choices in a world where truth remains elusive. Tonight, as you sink deeper into the stillness, let this paradox unfold like a quiet melody, easing your thoughts into a reflective calm, guiding you toward sleep's tranquil embrace with the gentle mystery of wagering on eternity. This paradox is significant because it confronts the absurdity of deciding what to believe in a universe that offers no clear answers, blending logic with faith in a way that feels both calculated and deeply human. It's relevant now, as you prepare to drift into slumber, because it invites a serene detachment from the need to resolve the ultimate questions, urging you to find peace in the act of choosing, even in uncertainty. Pascal's wager is both haunting and liberating, like placing a bet on a cosmic roulette wheel, knowing the outcome is beyond your control, yet finding calm in the decision itself. As you lie here, let this idea be your companion, softening the edges of doubt, lulling you into rest with its reflective mystery. Pascal's wager, outlined in his posthumous work Pensies, is a decision-theoretic argument for believing in God. Rooted in the mathematics of probability that Pascal helped pioneer, the wager posits a simple choice: believe in God or don't. If you believe in God exists, you gain eternal bliss. If God doesn't exist, you lose little, perhaps just the pleasures of a skeptical life. If you don't believe in God exists, you risk eternal punishment. If God doesn't exist, you gain little, perhaps a life free of religious constraints. Pascal argues that the rational choice is to believe, as the potential infinite reward outweighs the finite losses, while disbelief risks infinite loss for negligible gain. It's like betting on a coin toss where heads offers paradise and tails costs little, but not betting could cost everything. Imagine standing at a crossroads, one path leading to an uncertain eternity, the other to a fleeting, earthly freedom. Pascal urges you to choose the path with the greater payoff. Take a slow breath here, letting the weight of this gamble settle, gently, like a feather drifting onto a still pond, inviting quiet introspection. The concept emerged in the 17th century, a time of religious fervor and scientific awakening in Europe. Pascal, a devout Catholic and brilliant mathematician, sought to bridge faith and reason in an era when figures like Descartes and Galileo were reshaping knowledge. His wager wasn't meant to prove God's existence, but to offer a pragmatic response to doubt, appealing to those torn between skepticism and belief. Unlike traditional theological arguments, which rely on evidence like miracles or design, Pascal's approach is coldly rational, treating faith as a calculated risk. This makes it a paradox. Faith, typically rooted in heartfelt conviction, is framed as a strategic choice, like a gambler weighing odds at a table. To ground this, picture yourself buying insurance not because you expect disaster, but because the cost of precaution is small compared to the potential loss. Pascal's wager applies this logic to eternity, urging belief as a safeguard against the ultimate risk. Historically, it resonated in a world grappling with religious wars and philosophical upheaval, and it remains relevant today, as debates between atheism and theism persist in our secular age. As you rest here, let your thoughts wander to a choice. You've made perhaps a leap of faith in love, work, or hope. Was it a wager, a bet on an uncertain outcome? Pause. Let the ideas soften your mind, like a gentle wave lapping at the shore, preparing you for sleep's quiet descent. The implications of Pascal's wager rippled through our understanding of belief, morality, and the absurd pursuit of meaning, challenging the foundations of how we navigate uncertainty. Conventionally, we view faith as a matter of conviction, grounded in personal experience or evidence. Yet Pascal's wager suggests belief can be a rational strategy, a choice made not from certainty, but from fear of loss or hope for gain. This is mind-bending because it inverts the traditional path to faith, reducing a spiritual quest to a cost-benefit analysis. It's as if you're choosing a life partner, not for love, but for the safest outcome. A pragmatic move that feels at odds with sincerity. This raises existential questions. Can belief, born of calculation, be authentic? If you wager on God, are you truly faithful, or merely hedging your bets? The contradiction lies in how we live, as if truth matters, while Pascal suggests the outcome of our choices matters more. This challenges conventional thinking, which values authenticity and evidence over strategic pragmatism. In an absurd universe, where certainty about God or meaning is elusive, the wager forces us to confront the limits of reason. We can't know, so we must choose. This amplifies the absurdity we've explored: our search for purpose in a reality that offers no guarantees, where even faith becomes a gamble. Existentially, it questions the nature of commitment. If belief is a bet, what does it mean to live devoutly? Does a calculated faith diminish the divine, or does it reflect a humble acknowledgement of our limits? The paradox suggests that choosing belief, even without certainty, is an act of defiance against the void, akin to Camus' Sisyphus finding purpose in his futile task. Yet, this bleak pragmatism carries a soothing liberation, especially in this quiet moment before sleep. If the universe offers no clear answers, the pressure to resolve the question of God or ultimate truth lifts, replaced by the freedom to choose what aligns with your deepest hopes. Pascal's wager invites a meditative calm, urging you to release the need to prove or disprove eternity, and instead embrace the act of deciding. The mind-bending aspect is how it reframes faith as an act of courage, not certainty, a willingness to bet on meaning in an absurd world. This perspective fosters peace, as you're no longer burdened by the impossible task of knowing the unknowable. Instead, you can focus on the present, to a breath, your thoughts, your quiet presence, finding serenity in the choice itself, whether it's belief, skepticism, or something in between. As you lie here, let the implications of Pascal's wager wash over you like a slow tide, easing the weight of cosmic questions. Imagine your life as a gentle wager, each moment a bet on hope, love, or simply being. Whether the outcome is eternity or oblivion, this moment is vivid, and that's enough. Your breath slows, your body softens, and the paradox becomes a lullaby, whispering that the act of choosing is its own reward, guiding you toward sleep's tranquil embrace. Transition to the next segment, as we settle into the quiet courage of wagering on eternity. Embracing choice in an absurdly uncertain universe, we're drawn to an even deeper mystery, the nature of our own consciousness. If belief is a gamble, what of the mind that makes the bet? This contemplation carries us seamlessly to the hard problem of consciousness, where the enigma of our inner experience challenges the very boundaries of reality, inviting us to explore the absurdity of being aware in a silent cosmos. The hard problem of consciousness as the night wraps you in its quiet embrace, the world beyond your window fading into a gentle hush. A profound question begins to stir, like a soft ripple across the surface of your mind. Why do you feel anything at all? Why does the world, its colors, its sounds, its fleeting joys and sorrows, come alive within you as a vivid, subjective experience? This is the hard problem of consciousness, a philosophical puzzle articulated by David Chalmers that probes the mystery of why physical processes in the brain give rise to the rich, inner world of awareness. It's a concept that feels both intimate and cosmic, touching the essence of what it means to be you, while challenging the very nature of reality. The paradox is profoundly unsettling, as it suggests that the one thing we know most intimately, own consciousness, defies explanation, standing as a stubborn enigma in an otherwise explicable universe. Yet, in its haunting depth, there's a soothing invitation, perfect for this moment, as you unwind toward sleep. It encourages you to release the need to solve the mystery of your mind, to embrace the wonder of simply being aware, like a star, glowing softly in an endless night. In our journey through existential absurdities, the hard problem amplifies the tension between our quest for understanding and the universe's silent mysteries, offering a meditative lens to marvel at the miracle of experience. As you lie here, let this idea unfold like a gentle melody, easing your thoughts into a reflective calm, guiding you toward sleep's tranquil embrace with the quiet awe of your own consciousness. This paradox is significant because it confronts the limits of science and philosophy, questioning how mere matter can produce the vividness of subjective experience, and it deepens the absurdity of seeking meaning in a world where our own awareness remains unexplained. It's relevant now, as you prepare to drift into slumber, because it invites a serene detachment from the need to define your essence. fostering peace in the mystery of being. The hard problem is both unsettling and liberating, like gazing into a mirror and seeing not just your reflection, but the unfathomable depth of your inner world, urging you to rest in wonder rather than wrestle with answers. Tonight, let this paradox be your companion, softening the edges of curiosity, lulling you into rest with its reflective mystery. The hard problem of consciousness, as framed by David Chalmers in 1995, distinguishes between the easy problems of neuroscience, explaining how the brain processes information, controls behavior, or enables memory, and the hard problem, why these processes are accompanied by subjective experience, or what it is like to be conscious. The easy problems involve mapping neural correlates, say, how visual cortex activity produces sightbot. The hard problem asks why this activity feels like seeing a sunset's warm hues or hearing a loved one's voice. It's the mystery of qualia, the raw, personal sensations that color our existence. Imagine your brain as a complex machine, its circuits humming with electrical signals, yet somehow producing the vivid taste of coffee or the pang of nostalgia. Why does this happen? Why isn't the universe populated by mindless automatons, processing data without feeling? To make this tangible, picture watching a vibrant film. Your brain decodes light and sound. But why do you experience the stories, emotions? Take a slow breath here, letting the wonder of your awareness settle gently, like a leaf drifting onto a still pond, inviting quiet introspection. The concept builds on centuries of philosophical inquiry. In the 17th century, René Descartes proposed a dualist view, separating mind and body, suggesting consciousness is a non-physical substance, a soul interacting with the brain. This contrasts with materialism, which holds that consciousness emerges from physical processes, a view championed by modern neuroscience. Yet, even as we map the brain's intricacies, the hard problem persists. No amount of neural data explains the subjective feel of experience. Philosophers like Leibniz, with his analogy of a brain enlarged to walk through, yet revealing no consciousness, hinted at this gap. In the 20th century, thinkers like Thomas Nagel, in his essay What Is It Like to Be a Bat?, emphasized that subjective experience is inherently private, inaccessible to objective analysis. Scientifically, advances in brain imaging show correlations, say, pain linked to specific neural patterns, but correlation isn't explanation. Why does a firing neuron feel like anything at all? To ground this, recall a vivid moment, perhaps the warmth of sunlight on your skin today. Your brain processed the sensation, but why did it feel warm, alive, yours? As you rest here, let your thoughts wander through such a moment, not to solve it, but to marvel at its existence. Like a star's light piercing the night, preparing you for sleep's quiet descent. The implications of the hard problem of consciousness ripple through our understanding of reality, identity, and the absurd pursuit of meaning, challenging the assumption that science can fully explain existence. Conventionally, we view the mind as a product of the brain, a machine will eventually decode. Yet, the hard problem suggests consciousness might be fundamentally irreducible, a mystery that resists explanation, like a melody you can hear but not transcribe. This is mind-bending because it places our most intimate reality, our awareness, by the reach of objective knowledge, suggesting that the essence of you might be It's as if you're a book written in a language no one can read, yet you know its story by heart. This raises existential questions. If consciousness defies explanation, what is its role in the universe? Are we unique in our awareness, or does it hint at a deeper, perhaps universal, mystery? The contradiction lies in how we live, as if consciousness is understandable, while its core eludes us. Science maps the brain, AI mimics cognition, yet the subjective spark remains a riddle. This amplifies the absurdity we've explored. We seek meaning through a mind we don't fully comprehend, crafting purpose in a reality where our essence is a question mark. Existentially, the hard problem challenges our sense of self. If consciousness isn't just neural activity, might it suggest a soul, or even a cosmic consciousness, as panpsychism proposes? Or does it mean our experience is an illusion, a fleeting byproduct of matter? The paradox undermines materialist certainty, opening doors to metaphysical possibilities, dualism, idealism, or stranger theories, while leaving us without answers. This tension invites a serene rebellion, akin to Camus' Sisyphus, who finds dignity in his futile task. Whether consciousness is a miracle or a mystery, we live it. and that act of living becomes its own meaning. This perspective fosters a meditative calm, especially in this quiet moment before sleep. If the essence of your awareness is unknowable, the pressure to define yourself to be a certain kind of mind lifts, replaced by awe at the simple fact of being aware. The mind-bending aspect is how the paradox redefines existence. Perhaps, meaning lies not in explaining consciousness but in experiencing it, in savoring the vividness of now. This invites peace, urging you to release the need to solve your own mystery and embrace the wonder of feeling, thinking, being. As you lie here, let the implications of the hard problem wash over you like a slow tide, easing the weight of unanswered questions. Imagine your consciousness as a quiet flame, burning brightly in the dark, its source unknown but its warmth real. Whether a miracle or a puzzle, this moment of awareness is yours, and that's enough. Your breath slows, your body softens, and the paradox becomes a lullaby, whispering that the mystery of your mind is a gift, guiding you toward sleep's tranquil embrace. Transition to the next segment, as we marvel at the enigma of consciousness. Embracing its mystery in an absurdly unknowable universe, we're drawn to a stranger possibility. What if our awareness persists beyond death, branching into infinite realities? This contemplation carries us seamlessly to quantum immortality, where the boundaries of life and death blur, inviting us to explore the absurdity of eternal existence in a multiverse. Quantum immortality, death-defying branches as the night deepens, its quiet embrace wrapping you in a cocoon of stillness. A strange and haunting question begins to drift through your mind like a faint echo. What if, in a universe of infinite possibilities, you never truly die, but instead persist forever in some branching reality? This is the concept of quantum immortality, a speculative idea rooted in quantum mechanics and the many worlds interpretation, which suggests that you might always survive in some version of reality, no matter the odds. It's a paradox that stretches the boundaries of life and death, proposing that your consciousness could endure eternally through an infinite array of parallel universes. The idea is profoundly unsettling, as it challenges our intuitive understanding of mortality as a final end, suggesting instead that every near-death moment spawns a reality where you live on. Yet, in its eerie depth, there's a soothing invitation, perfect for this moment as you unwind towards sleep. It encourages you to release the fear of death's finality, to embrace the possibility of eternal continuation like a river splitting into countless streams. In our journey through existential absurdities, quantum immortality amplifies the tension between our finite experience and the infinite possibilities of existence, offering a meditative lens to marvel at the strangeness of being. As you lie here, let this idea unfold like a soft whisper, easing your thoughts into a reflective calm, guiding you toward sleep's tranquil embrace with the quiet wonder of a life that might never end. This paradox is significant because it redefines mortality, questioning the certainty of death in a cosmos where every outcome might coexist. It's relevant now, as you prepare to drift into slumber, because it invites a serene detachment from the fear of finality, fostering peace in the mystery of infinite existence. Quantum immortality is both haunting and liberating, like imagining your life as a story with endless chapters, each branching into new realities, urging you to rest in the possibility rather than dread the unknown. Tonight, let this paradox be your companion, softening the edges of mortality, lulling you into rest with its reflective mystery. Quantum immortality stems from the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics, proposed by physicist Hugh Everett in 1957, which posits that every quantum event spawns multiple universes, each realizing a different outcome. In this framework, every possible state of the universe exists in a separate, parallel reality, applied to life and death. Quantum immortality suggests that your consciousness always follows a path where you survive, because in some universe, you must survive any event, no matter how improbable. Imagine you're in a life-threatening car accident, a fall, a moment where survival hangs by a thread. In one universe, you perish. In another, you miraculously survive. The paradox claims your consciousness can only experience the universes where you live, effectively rendering you immortal from your own perspective. It's as if you're a character in a cosmic choose-your-own-adventure book, always flipping to the page where you endure, to make this tangible picture playing a video game with infinite save points every time you die. The game reloads a version where you survive, and you never experience the game over screen. Take a slow breath here, letting the idea settle gently, like a star's light piercing the night, inviting quiet introspection. The concept builds on quantum mechanics, where particles exist in superpositions, multiple states, simultaneously and observed, collapsing into one outcome. The many worlds interpretation rejects this collapse, proposing instead that all outcomes occur in separate universes. For example, Schrödinger's cat, both alive and dead in a quantum superposition, exists as alive in one universe and dead in another. Applied to humans, this suggests that for every life or death moment, your consciousness persists in the alive branch. Historically, the idea emerged in the 20th century as quantum theory revolutionized physics, challenging Newtonian certainties. Thinkers like Max Tegmark and Hans Moravec extended it to consciousness, speculating that subjective experience follows survival paths. While not empirically testable, the concept resonates with modern multiverse theories and speculative fiction, like stories where characters live through infinite realities. To ground this further, recall a moment of danger in your life, perhaps a near miss, a fleeting brush with mortality. In this moment, you survived, but what if another you didn't? As you rest here, let your thoughts wander through such a moment, not to fear it, but to marvel at your continuation, like a river branching endlessly, preparing you for sleep's quiet descent. The implications of quantum immortality ripple through our understanding of mortality, identity, and the absurd pursuit of meaning, challenging the finality we associate with death. Conventionally, we view life as a singular, linear journey, ending in an inevitable cessation. Yet, quantum immortality suggests that your consciousness might never experience death, always branching into a reality where you survive, no matter how improbable. This is mind-bending because it inverts our understanding of mortality. Instead of a single end, you persist infinitely, a never-ending thread woven through countless universes. It's as if you're a melody played across infinite instruments, each note surviving in a new arrangement. This raises existential questions. If you never experience death, what does it mean to live? Does the value of life diminish if it's eternal, or does it deepen with endless possibilities? The contradiction lies in how we live, as if death is certain, while quantum immortality posits a reality where it's not. This challenges conventional thinking, which anchors meaning in life's finitude. Our choices matter because time is limited. If you're immortal in some branch, every mistake, every joy, repeats in another reality, diluting the weight of any single moment. Yet this also amplifies the absurdity we've explored. We seek meaning in a finite life, but if existence branches infinitely, our singular narrative becomes one of countless stories. Existentially, the paradox questions the nature of suffering. If you survive every calamity, do the use in other branches suffer endlessly? This tension suggests a multiverse where infinite versions of you endure, each facing its own joys and pains, raising ethical concerns about the value of those parallel lives. The mind-bending aspect is how it redefines identity. If countless yous exist, who is the real you? This echoes Camus' absurd hero, Sisyphus, who finds dignity in his eternal task, suggesting that meaning lies in embracing the act of living, whether finite or infinite. This perspective fosters a meditative calm, especially in this quiet moment before sleep. If death is not an end but a branch into another reality, the fear of finality softens, replaced by wonder at the possibility of endless continuation. The paradox invites you to release the need to fear mortality, to embrace the present as one of infinite moments, each vivid in its own right. It's like letting go of a tightly held rope, allowing your mind to float freely in the stream of existence. As you lie here, let the implications of quantum immortality wash over you like a slow tide, easing the weight of finality. Imagine your life as a tree with infinite branches, each bearing the fruit of a different outcome, yet all rooted in the now. Whether mortal or immortal, this moment is yours, and that's enough. Your breath slows, your body softens, and the paradox becomes a lullaby, whispering that your existence might stretch beyond the stars, guiding you towards sleep's tranquil embrace. Transition to the next segment, as we embrace the possibility of infinite survival, marveling at the branching realities that might preserve our consciousness. We're drawn to an even stranger thought. What if our existence is a fleeting anomaly, a spontaneous flicker in the cosmic void. This contemplation carries us seamlessly to Boltzmann brains, where the absurdity of random minds challenges the very fabric of our reality, inviting us to explore the mystery of being in an infinite universe. Boltzmann brains flickers in the cosmic void as the night enfolds you in its quiet embrace, the world beyond your window fading into a soft, inky stillness. A strange and haunting thought begins to drift through your mind like a distant star, blinking into existence. What if your consciousness, this very moment of awareness, is not the product of a coherent universe but a fleeting, random fluctuation in an infinite cosmic void? This is the concept of Boltzmann brains, a speculative idea rooted in statistical mechanics and cosmology, which suggests that in an infinitely vast and chaotic universe, self-aware minds could spontaneously emerge from random quantum fluctuations, complete with false memories and perceptions. It's a paradox that stretches the boundaries of reality, proposing that you, your thoughts, and your entire sense of existence might be an ephemeral flicker, a momentary anomaly in an eternal sea of disorder. The idea is profoundly unsettling, as it challenges the coherence of your world, suggesting that everything you know could be a delusion born of chaos. Yet, in its eerie depth, there's a soothing invitation, perfect for this moment, as you unwind toward sleep on this quiet night of August 13th, 2025. It encourages you to release the need for a stable reality, to embrace the fleeting wonder of your awareness like a single wave rising and falling in an endless ocean. In our journey through existential absurdities, the Boltzmann brain hypothesis amplifies the tension between our desire for a meaningful, ordered existence and the possibility that we are mere accidents of chaos, offering a meditative lens to marvel at the mystery of being. As you lie here, let this idea unfold like a gentle whisper, easing your thoughts into a reflective calm, guiding you toward sleep's tranquil embrace with the quiet awe of a mind that might be the universe's fleeting dream. This paradox is significant because it undermines the assumption that our consciousness is grounded in a stable, physical reality, questioning whether we are part of a purposeful cosmos or random sparks in an infinite void. It's relevant now, as you prepare to drift into slumber, because it invites a serene detachment from the need to anchor your existence in certainty, fostering peace in the wonder of simply being aware. The Boltzmann brain idea is both haunting and liberating, like imagining your life as a single note in a cosmic symphony that plays for no one, urging you to rest in the beauty of the moment rather than fear its impermanence. Tonight, let this paradox be your companion, softening the edges of reality, lulling you into rest with its reflective mystery. The Boltzmann brain hypothesis emerges from the work of 19th-century physicist Ludwig Boltzmann, who studied entropy and the tendency of systems to move toward disorder. In an infinite universe governed by quantum mechanics, random fluctuations in energy could, over unimaginable timescales, produce highly ordered structures, like a brain with consciousness purely by chance. Imagine a universe so vast and eternal that, given infinite time, particles could randomly align to form a brain identical to yours, complete with memories of a life never lived, perceiving a world that doesn't exist. This brain, brain, would exist briefly before dissolving back into chaos, its fleeting awareness indistinguishable from your own. The paradox arises because, in an infinite universe, such random fluctuations are statistically more likely than the complex, ordered evolution of life as we know it. It's as if you're a single page of a novel, spontaneously written by a cosmic typewriter, believing you're part of a grand story. To make this tangible, picture a vast, dark ocean where a single bubble forms, briefly containing a world, then pure consciousness could be that bubble, ephemeral yet vivid. Take a slow breath here, letting the idea settle gently, like a star's flicker in the night sky, inviting quiet introspection. The concept builds on statistical mechanics and cosmology, particularly the idea that low-entropy states, like a conscious brain, can arise randomly in a high-entropy universe. Boltzmann's work on thermodynamics suggested that our universe's order is a statistical fluke, a rare dip in entropy. In the 20th century, cosmologists like Max Tegmark and Sean Carroll extended this to modern multiverse theories, where infinite regions of space-time increase the odds of such fluctuations. If the universe is eternal, Boltzmann brains could outnumber real minds, making it more likely that you're a fleeting, self-aware anomaly than a product of billions of years of evolution. Philosophically, this echoes solipsism, suggesting your reality might be a private illusion, but it adds a cosmic twist. You're not just alone, but a random spark in chaos. To ground this further, recall a vivid memory, perhaps a moment from today, August 13th, 2025, like the warmth of a conversation or the cool night air. What if that memory is false, conjured by a brain that flickered into existence moments ago? As you rest here, let your thoughts wander through such a moment, not to fear its unreality, but to marvel at its vividness, like a dream is fleeting, preparing you for sleep's quiet descent. The implications of Boltzmann brains ripple through our understanding of reality, identity, and the absurd pursuit of meaning, challenging the assumption that our existence is grounded in a coherent, physical world. Conventionally, we view our consciousness as the product of a long evolutionary process, rooted in a stable universe with stars, planets, and history. Yet, the Boltzmann brain hypothesis suggests you might be a random fluctuation. Your memories and perceptions are cosmic accident, as fleeting as a spark in a storm. This is mind-bending because it undermines the continuity of your life, proposing that your entire reality could be a momentary delusion, lasting only as long as this thought. It's as if you're a single frame in a film that plays for no audience, believing you're part of a grand narrative. This raises existential questions. If you're a Boltzmann brain, what is the value of your experiences? Does meaning dissolve if your world is a random flicker? The contradiction lies in how we live, as if our reality is stable, while the paradox suggests it might be an ephemeral illusion. This challenges conventional thinking, which anchors meaning in a shared, objective world. Our relationships, achievements, and histories. If you're a Boltzmann brain, these are fictions, yet they feel as real as the breath you take now. This amplifies the absurdity we've explored. We seek purpose in a universe that might not only be indifferent, but entirely illusory. Our existence a statistical quirk rather than a cosmic destiny. Existentially, the paradox questions the nature of reality. If your consciousness is a random fluctuation, are your joys and sorrows less valid, or do they gain poignancy in their brevity? The mind-bending aspect is how it redefines existence. Perhaps you're not a product of evolution, but a momentary miracle, a spark of awareness in an infinite void. This echoes Camus' Sisyphus, who finds dignity in his futile task, suggesting that meaning lies in embracing the moment, whether real or illusory. This perspective fosters a meditative calm, especially in this quiet moment before sleep on August 13, 2025. If your existence is a fleeting fluctuation, the pressure to anchor it in a grand narrative lifts, replaced by awe at the sheer fact of your awareness. The paradox invites you to release the need to prove your reality's stability, to embrace the vividness of now. Your thoughts, your breath, the quiet of the night has a singular gift. It's like letting go of a tightly held map, allowing your mind to drift freely in the cosmic sea. As you lie here, let the implications of Boltzmann brains wash over you like a slow tide, easing the weight of needing a permanent world. Imagine your consciousness as a brief, radiant star, shining for an instant in the void, its beauty undimmed by its brevity. Whether a flicker or a fixture, this moment is yours, and that's enough. Your breath slows, your body softens, and the paradox becomes a lullaby, whispering that your awareness is a miracle, however brief, guiding you toward sleep's tranquil embrace. Transition to the next segment. As we marvel at the possibility of being a fleeting spark in the cosmic void, embracing the wonder of our momentary awareness, we're drawn to another profound question. What if the universe itself is not random but infinitely recursive, a self-contained loop of existence? This contemplation carries us seamlessly to the Ouroboros universe, where the absurdity of a cosmos that creates itself challenges our understanding of beginnings and ends. The Ouroboros universe, a self-devouring cosmos, the night of August 13, 2025, enfolds you in its quiet embrace. The world beyond your window, softening into a gentle hush at 10:18 p.m. PKT. A strange and profound thought begins to ripple through your mind like a whisper from the cosmos. What if the universe is not a linear expanse stretching from a singular beginning to an eventual end, but a self-contained cycle, endlessly looping back on itself like a serpent swallowing its own tail? This is the concept of the Ouroboros universe, a speculative cosmological idea inspired by the ancient symbol of the Ouroboros, a snake devouring itself, representing eternal return and cyclicality. The paradox suggests that the universe might create itself, its end giving birth to its beginning in an infinite loop, challenging our notions of time, origin, and finality. It's a mind-bending idea, one that dissolves the boundaries of cause and effect, proposing that existence might be a self-sustaining cycle with no external origin. Yet, in its haunting depth, there's a soothing invitation, perfect for this moment as you unwind toward sleep. It encourages you to release the need for a definitive beginning or end, to embrace the eternal flow of existence like a river that circles back to its source. In our journey through existential absurdities, the Ouroboros universe amplifies the tension between our desire for a linear narrative and the possibility of a cosmos that loops infinitely, offering a meditative lens to marvel at the mystery of a self-devouring reality. As you lie here, let this idea unfold like a soft melody, easing your thoughts into a reflective calm, guiding you toward sleep's tranquil embrace with the quiet wonder of a universe that is its own creator. This paradox is significant because it challenges the foundational assumption that the universe has a clear origin, like the Big Bang, and a defined trajectory toward an end, suggesting instead that time and existence might be circular, self-contained, and eternal. It's relevant now, as you prepare to drift into slumber, because it invites a serene detachment from the need to anchor reality in a straight line, fostering peace in the acceptance of an infinite cycle. The Ouroboros universe is both unsettling and liberating, like imagining your life as a story that begins where it ends, urging you to rest in the beauty of its eternal return rather than fear its lack of closure. Tonight, let this paradox be your companion, softening the edges of time, lulling you into rest with its reflective mystery. The Ouroboros universe draws its name from the ancient symbol of a serpent or dragon eating its own tail, found in cultures from ancient Egypt to Norse mythology, symbolizing cyclicality, renewal, and the unity of beginning and end. In cosmology, the idea speculates that the universe might be a closed temporal loop, where its ultimate fate, perhaps a collapse or big crunch, leads back to its own beginning, creating a cycle where the end births the start. Imagine the universe as a cosmic clock, its hands spinning endlessly, the final tick restarting the first. This challenges the linear model of cosmology, where the Big Bang marks a singular origin 13.8 billion years ago, followed by expansion toward an uncertain future, perhaps eternal expansion or heat death. Instead, the Ouroboros universe suggests that time curves back on itself, like a Mobius strip with no true beginning or end. To make this tangible, picture a film that ends where it begins, its final scene seamlessly looping back to the opening frame, creating an eternal story. Take a slow breath here, letting the idea settle gently, like a star's light curving through space, inviting quiet introspection. The concept builds on speculative physics and philosophy. In the 20th century, cosmologists like Alexander Friedman and George Gamow developed models of a cyclic universe, where expansion and contraction repeat indefinitely. Though these models face challenges from entropy, which suggests disorder increases over time, making cycles less feasible. Philosophically, the idea resonates with Friedrich Nietzsche's eternal recurrence, where life loops infinitely, and with Eastern philosophies like Hinduism, which envision cosmic cycles of creation and destruction. Modern theories, such as Roger Penrose's conformal cyclic cosmology, propose that the universe's end could reset its geometry, initiating a new cycle without a traditional beginning. The paradox lies in the absence of an external cause. If the universe creates itself, what sustains the loop? This defies our intuitive need for a first cause, a prime mover, as Aristotle proposed. To ground this further, reflect on a day in your life, perhaps today, August 13th, 2025, with its mundane routines and fleeting joys. What if this day repeats eternally, its end circling back to its start? As you rest here, let your thoughts wander through such a moment, not to unravel it, but to marvel at its cyclical possibility, like a tide returning to the shore, preparing you for sleep's quiet descent. The implications of the Ouroboros universe ripple through our understanding of time, purpose, and the absurd pursuit of meaning, challenging the linear narratives we impose on existence. Conventionally, we view the universe and our lives as a story with a beginning, middle, and end, from the Big Bang to a cosmic finale, from birth to death. Yet, the Ouroboros universe suggests that existence might be a closed loop, where every moment is both an end and a beginning, eternal yet contained. This is mind-bending because it dissolves the concept of progress, suggesting that our efforts, our histories, and our futures are part of an infinite cycle with no ultimate destination. It's as if you're walking a circular path, believing each step moves you forward, only to find yourself returning to the start. This raises existential questions. If the universe loops, does anything truly change? Does meaning hold if every moment recurs eternally? The contradiction lies in how we live as if time is linear, striving for goals, legacies, and resolutions, while the paradox posits a reality where endings are beginnings. This challenges conventional thinking, which anchors meaning in forward motion, building a career, raising a family, leaving a mark. If the universe is cyclical, these efforts return to their origin, like a river flowing into itself. This amplifies the absurdity we've explored. We seek purpose in a cosmos that might lack a beginning or end, crafting narratives in a reality that loops infinitely. Existentially, the paradox questions the nature of progress. If everything recurs, are our struggles and triumphs mere repetitions, or do they gain depth in their eternal return? The mind-bending aspect is how it redefines time. Perhaps meaning lies not in reaching an end, but in embracing the cycle, in living each moment as if it's both first and last. This echoes Camus' Sisyphus, who finds dignity in his eternal task, suggesting that purpose arises from embracing the act of being, whether linear or circular. This perspective fosters a meditative calm, especially in this quiet moment before sleep on August 13, 2025. If the universe is a self-devouring cycle, the pressure to achieve a final purpose lifts, replaced by awe at the eternal now. The paradox invites you to release the need to pin down a beginning or end, to embrace the present your breath, your thoughts. The quiet of this night has a singular note in an infinite melody. It's like letting go of a tightly held map, allowing your mind to drift freely in the cosmic loop. As you lie here, let the implications of the Ouroboros universe wash over you like a slow tide, easing the weight of needing a linear destiny. Imagine your life as a circle, each moment returning yet new, its beauty undimmed by its recurrence. Whether the universe loops or stretches, this moment is vivid, and that's enough. Your breath slows, your body softens, and the paradox becomes a lullaby, whispering that your existence is part of an eternal dance, guiding you toward sleep's tranquil embrace. Transition to the next segment. As we embrace the cyclical mystery of the Ouroboros universe, marveling at the possibility of an eternal, self-creating cosmos, we're drawn to a stranger question. What if the universe's laws themselves are arbitrary, a mere illusion of order in a chaotic void? This contemplation carries us seamlessly to the fine-tuned universe, where the absurdity of a cosmos perfectly suited for life challenges our understanding of chance and design. Infinite monkey theorem. Chaos birthing masterpieces. As the quiet of this Wednesday afternoon, August 13, 2025, at 1:39 p.m. PKT, settles around you like a soft veil, the world outside your window humming with the gentle rhythm of midday, a peculiar thought begins to stir in your mind. Like a whimsical breeze carrying an improbable image, picture a legion of monkeys, each perched before a typewriter, their fingers tapping randomly across the keys for an eternity, eventually producing not just gibberish, but the complete works of Shakespeare, every sonnet, every tragedy, word for word. This is the infinite monkey theorem, a probability paradox that illustrates the astonishing power of randomness given infinite time, suggesting that even the most complex order can emerge from chaos. It's a mind-bending idea, one that mocks our assumptions about purposeful creation, proposing that masterpieces could arise from sheer chance, as if the universe itself were a cosmic typewriter, hammering out meaning without intent. Yet, in its playful absurdity, there's a soothing invitation, perfect for this moment as you pause to reflect. It encourages you to release the need for deliberate design, to embrace the possibility that beauty and meaning can emerge unexpectedly, like a melody stumbled upon in a cacophony of noise. In our journey through existential absurdities, the infinite monkey theorem amplifies the tension between our desire for purposeful order and the reality of a universe that might create through randomness, offering a meditative lens to marvel at the serendipity of existence. As you rest in this moment, let this idea unfold like a gentle ripple, easing your thoughts into a reflective calm, guiding you toward a serene acceptance of life's unpredictable creativity. This paradox is significant because it challenges the notion that complex outcomes like art, life, or even the universe require intentional design, suggesting instead that given enough time, chaos can birth brilliance. It's relevant now, as you take a moment to unwind, because it invites a serene detachment from the need to control or explain life's creations, fostering peace in the wonder of accidental beauty. The theorem is both unsettling and liberating, like imagining your life's story written not by a purposeful author, but by a chance collision of cosmic keys, urging you to find joy in the absurdity rather than fear its randomness. Today, let this paradox be your companion, softening the edges of intention, inviting you to rest in the playful mystery of a universe that creates without trying. The infinite monkey theorem is a thought experiment rooted in probability theory, asserting that, given an infinite amount of time, a monkey or any random process typing randomly on a typewriter will eventually produce any specific text, such as Shakespeare's Hamlet or even the entire canon of literature. Mathematically, this rests on the principle that in an infinite sequence of trials, any finite outcome, no matter how improbable, becomes certain. The theorem doesn't require literal monkeys. It's a metaphor for randomness operating over vast timescales. Imagine a single monkey typing for eternity, or an infinite number of monkeys typing for a finite time. Either way, the result is the same. Every possible combination of letters will eventually appear, including the exact sequence of to be or not to be. To make this tangible, picture flipping a coin endlessly. While a specific sequence of 1,000,000 heads is unlikely, given infinite flips, it's guaranteed to occur. Similarly, the theorem suggests that randomness can produce order, no matter how complex. Take a slow breath here, letting the whimsical image of typing monkeys settle gently, like a playful breeze rustling through leaves, inviting quiet introspection. The concept traces back to early 20th century mathematician Emil Borel, who used it to illustrate the power of infinite probability in his work on statistical mechanics. It gained popularity as a thought experiment in discussions of chance and complexity, often used to explain concepts in thermodynamics and cosmology. Philosophically, it resonates with ideas of randomness and emergence, challenging teleological views that assume purpose behind order. In the 19th century, thinkers like Charles Darwin laid groundwork for such ideas by showing how complexity life itself could arise from natural processes without a guiding hand. In the modern era, the theorem connects to computational simulations, where random algorithms generate complex patterns, and to cosmology, where the universe's structure might be a statistical fluke. To ground this further, imagine your life's story, every choice, every moment written, not by intention but by a random process, like a cosmic typewriter spitting out your biography by chance. Could the beauty of your existence be an accident? As you pause here, let your thoughts wander through a creative moment, perhaps a poem you wrote, a conversation that sparked joy today at 1:39 p.m. PKT. Could it have been crafted by chaos? Let the possibility soften your mind, like a gentle wave smoothing a shoreline, preparing you for a moment of calm reflection. The implications of the infinite monkey theorem ripple through our understanding of creativity, meaning, and the absurd pursuit of purpose, challenging the assumption that order and beauty require intentional design. Conventionally, we view masterpieces, whether Shakespeare's plays, a symphony, or the intricate web of life, as products of deliberate effort, genius, or divine plan. Yet, the theorem suggests that given infinite time, randomness can produce the same results, rendering purpose unnecessary. This is mind-bending because it strips away the sanctity of creation, proposing that the most profound works could be accidents, like a cosmic lottery hitting every number by chance. It's as if you discovered a beloved painting was created, not by an artist but by paint splattered randomly on a canvas. This raises existential questions. If meaning can emerge from nonsense, what is the value of intention? Does the beauty of a sunset lose its worth if it's a product of chance? The contradiction lies in how we live, as if purpose drives creation, while the paradox suggests chaos can suffice. This challenges conventional thinking, which ties meaning to authorship, whether human, divine, or evolutionary. In an absurd, universe, where we seek significance in art, love, or existence. The theorem posits that these might be random outputs, no different from gibberish, except in their improbable coherence. This amplifies the absurdity we've explored. We craft narratives of purpose in a reality that might be a chaotic typewriter, producing order without intent. Existentially, the paradox questions the nature of value. If a random process can create King Lear, does its brilliance diminish, or does it shine brighter for its improbability? The mind-bending aspect is how it redefines creativity. Perhaps meaning lies not in the source, but in the experience, in the act of perceiving beauty, whether crafted or accidental. This echoes Camus' Sisyphus, who finds dignity in his futile task, suggesting that purpose arises from embracing the moment, not its origin. This perspective fosters a meditative calm, especially in this quiet moment of reflection on August 13, 2025. If the universe can create masterpieces through chaos, the pressure to control or justify your life's meaning lifts, replaced by joy in its serendipitous existence. The paradox invites you to release the need for a purposeful design, to embrace the present, your thoughts, your breath, the soft hum of this afternoon as a fleeting miracle, whether intentional or not. It's like letting go of a tightly held script, allowing your mind to dance freely in the randomness of being. As you pause here, let the implications of the infinite monkey theorem wash over you like a slow tide, easing the weight of needing a deliberate purpose. Imagine your life as a poem typed by chance, its lines no less beautiful for their accidental creation. Whether crafted or chaotic, this moment is vivid, and that's enough. Your breath slows, your body softens, and the paradox becomes a lullaby, whispering that existence is a masterpiece, however it came to be, guiding you toward a tranquil moment of rest. Transition to the next segment, as we embrace the serendipity of chaos birthing masterpieces, marveling at the possibility that our lives might be random yet radiant. We're drawn to a new challenge. What if the freedom to create meaning drowns us in choices? This contemplation carries us seamlessly to the paradox of choice, where the abundance of options floods the absurd sea of decision, inviting us to explore the tension between liberty and overwhelm. The paradox of choice, freedom's burden, as the gentle quiet of this Wednesday afternoon, August 13, 2025, at 1:40 p.m. PKT, wraps you in a moment of calm. The world outside humming with the soft pulse of midday, a subtle question begins to stir in your mind like a breeze rustling through a crowded marketplace. What if the freedom to choose everything, your career, your relationships, even the smallest details of your day, leads not to joy but to paralysis and unease? This is the paradox of choice, a modern psychological and philosophical insight articulated by Barry Schwartz, which reveals the hidden burden of abundance in a world overflowing with options. It's a paradox that feels both intimately familiar and deeply unsettling, as it suggests that the liberty we cherish, the power to shape our lives with countless possibilities, can overwhelm us, leaving us frozen in indecision or haunted by regret. In the context of our journey through existential absurdities, this paradox amplifies the tension between our desire for freedom and the reality of its weight, showing how the gift of choice can become a chain in an absurdly complex world. Yet, in its challenging depth, there's a soothing invitation, perfect for this moment as you pause to reflect. It encourages you to release the pressure of choosing perfectly, to embrace the simplicity of the present, like a single clear note in a symphony of noise. As you rest in this quiet afternoon, let this idea unfold like a gentle stream, easing your thoughts into a reflective calm, guiding you toward a serene acceptance of life's overwhelming possibilities. This paradox is significant because it challenges the modern ideal that more freedom equals more happiness, revealing instead how abundance can paralyze and diminish our satisfaction. It's relevant now, as you take a moment to unwind, because it invites a meditative detachment from the chaos of endless decisions, fostering peace in the act of simplifying your focus. The paradox of choice is both haunting and liberating, like standing before an infinite menu and choosing to savor a single dish, urging you to find joy in the present rather than drown in possibilities. Today, let this paradox be your companion, softening the edges of overwhelm, inviting you to rest in the gentle clarity of this moment. The paradox of choice, as explored by Barry Schwartz in his 2004 book, posits that, while some choice is essential, For autonomy and satisfaction, an excess of options can lead to anxiety, indecision, and regret, ultimately reducing well-being. Psychologically, too many choices overwhelm our cognitive capacity, making it harder to decide and easier to second-guess our decisions. Imagine walking into a cafe with a menu listing hundreds of drinks. Each variation of coffee, tea, or flavor feels like a new opportunity, but the sheer volume leaves you paralyzed, unable to choose, or dissatisfied with your eventual pick, wondering if another would have been better. Schwartz's research, supported by studies like those of psychologists Sheena Iyengar and Mark Lepper, shows that people are less satisfied when faced with too many options, as the fear of missing out or making a wrong choice looms large. To make this tangible, picture shopping online today, scrolling through endless products, each click offering more colors, sizes, or features until the joy of choosing fades into exhaustion. Take a slow breath here, letting the idea of simplification settle gently, like a leaf drifting onto a still pond, inviting quiet introspection. The concept has deep roots in the historical shift from scarcity to surplus. In pre-industrial societies, choices were limited. People ate what was grown, married within their community, worked the trade of their family. The Industrial Revolution, followed by the rise of consumerism and digital technology, flooded the world with options, from careers to lifestyles to entertainment. By 2025, this abundance has intensified, with algorithms curating endless streams of content, products, and paths, each promising fulfillment, yet often delivering overwhelm. Philosophically, the paradox engages with existential themes of freedom, echoing Jean-Paul Sartre's idea that we're condemned to be free, burdened by the responsibility of choice in an absurd world. Economically, it challenges the assumption that more options always enhance welfare, showing instead that constraints can liberate. To ground this further, reflect on a decision you faced today, perhaps choosing what to eat, where, or do this afternoon at 1:40 p.m. PKT. Did the abundance of options spark joy or hesitation? As you pause here, let your thoughts wander through such a moment, not to judge it, but to notice its weight, like a gentle wave lapping at the shore, preparing you for a moment of calm reflection. The implications of the paradox of choice ripple through our understanding of freedom, happiness, and the absurd pursuit of meaning, challenging the modern ideal that more options equate to greater liberation. Conventionally, we view freedom as the ability to choose from endless possibilities, believing that more paths lead to more fulfillment. Yet, the paradox reveals that abundance can imprison us, flooding our minds with indecision, regret, and the nagging sense that a better choice was left unmade. This is mind-bending because it inverts the narrative of liberation. The freedom we crave can become a burden, like a traveler with too many roads, unable to take a single step. It's as if you're handed a blank canvas with infinite colors, but no vision, paralyzed by the potential. This raises existential questions. If choice overwhelms, how do we find meaning in a world of endless possibilities? Does freedom lose its value when it drowns us in options? The contradiction lies in how we live as if more choice guarantees happiness, while the paradox suggests it often breeds dissatisfaction. Society celebrates abundance. Think of the endless streaming platforms, career paths, or social connections available in 2025, yet each option adds weight, making us question our decisions or mourn paths not taken. This amplifies the absurdity we've explored. We seek meaning through choice, in a world where too many options obscure clarity, leaving us adrift in a sea of possibilities. Existentially, the paradox questions the nature of agency. If choosing becomes a burden, are we truly free, or are we trapped by our own liberty? The mind-bending aspect is how it redefines freedom. Perhaps true liberation lies in limitation, in choosing simplicity over excess. This echoes Camus' absurd hero, Sisyphus, who finds purpose in his constrained task, suggesting that meaning arises from embracing a chosen path, however narrow. This perspective fosters a meditative calm, especially in this quiet moment of reflection. On August 13, 2025, if abundance breeds anxiety, the paradox invites you to release the pressure of choosing perfectly, to find peace in focusing on the present, your breath, your thoughts, the soft stillness of this afternoon. It's like setting aside an overflowing toolbox to work with a single, trusted tool, finding joy in its simplicity. The paradox encourages mindful minimalism, urging you to savor one choice, one moment, without the weight of alternatives. As you pause here, let the implications of the paradox of choice wash over you like a slow tide, easing the burden of endless possibilities. Imagine your life as a single, clear path chosen today, its beauty undimmed by the roads left unexplored. Whether you choose much or little, this moment is vivid, and that's enough. Your breath slows, your body softens, and the paradox becomes a gentle guide, whispering that freedom is found in embracing the now, guiding you toward a tranquil moment of rest. Transition to the next segment, as we embrace the simplicity of choosing. In a sea of options, finding peace in the present amidst the absurdity of abundance, we're drawn to a deeper challenge. What if our choices, no matter how carefully made, lead to endless dissatisfaction? This contemplation carries us seamlessly to the hedonic treadmill, where the pursuit of happiness spins in a cycle of futility, inviting us to explore the absurdity of chasing joy in an ever-shifting world. The hedonic treadmill, chasing elusive joy as the soft light of this Wednesday afternoon, August 13, 2025, at 1:41 p.m. PKT, filters through your surroundings, casting a gentle glow over the quiet moment. A subtle question begins to stir in your mind like a whisper carried on a warm breeze. What if the happiness you chase through achievements, love, or fleeting pleasures slips away not because you fail, but because you adapt, always returning to a familiar baseline of contentment? This is the hedonic treadmill, a psychological paradox introduced by Philip Brickman and Donald Campbell, which reveals the fleeting nature of joy as our minds reset to a stable, emotional state regardless of life's highs or lows. It's a concept that feels both intimately familiar and profoundly unsettling, as it suggests that the goals we pursue, success, wealth, or connection, may never deliver lasting happiness, leaving us running in place in an absurd quest for more. In our journey through existential absurdities, the hedonic treadmill amplifies the tension between our desire for enduring joy and the reality of our adaptive nature, exposing the futility of chasing what we cannot keep. Yet, in its challenging depth, there's a soothing invitation, perfect for this moment as you pause to reflect. It encourages you to release the pursuit of elusive highs, to embrace the quiet contentment of the present, like a steady heartbeat in a restless world. As you rest in this afternoon's calm, let this idea unfold like a gentle stream, easing your thoughts into a reflective calm, guiding you toward a serene acceptance of life's emotional ebb and flow. This paradox is significant because it challenges the modern narrative that happiness lies in achieving more, revealing instead how our minds adapt to neutralize both gains and losses. It's relevant now, as you take a moment to unwind, because it invites a meditative detachment from the relentless pursuit of joy, fostering peace in the simplicity of being present. The hedonic treadmill is both haunting and liberating, like running toward a horizon that recedes with every step, urging you to find contentment in the act of running itself rather than reaching a distant goal. Today, let this paradox be your companion, softening the edges of ambition, inviting you to rest in the gentle equilibrium of this moment. The hedonic treadmill, first articulated by Brickman and Campbell in 1971, describes the human tendency to return to a relatively stable level of happiness, a set point, despite significant positive or negative life events. Psychologically, we adapt to changes, whether joyous, like winning a lottery, or tragic, like losing a loved one, adjusting our emotional baseline so that happiness remains elusive. Imagine running on a treadmill. No matter how fast you go, you stay in place as the belt moves beneath you. A promotion brings a burst of joy, but soon it feels ordinary. A loss stings deeply, but over time, the pain dulls. Studies, such as Brickman's research on lottery winners and accident victims, show that after initial emotional spikes or dips, people revert to their baseline moods within months. To make this tangible, picture buying a new gadget today, a sleek phone at 1:41 p.m. PKT. Its novelty thrilling at first, only to become mundane as you adapt to its presence. Take a slow breath here, letting the idea of your emotional equilibrium settle gently, like a leaf drifting onto a still pond, inviting quiet introspection. The concept builds on psychological and philosophical insights into human adaptation. In the 19th century, thinkers like William James explored how habits shape our responses, laying groundwork for understanding emotional adaptation. By the 20th century, positive psychology, led by figures like Martin Seligman, examined happiness's fleeting nature, while Daniel Kahneman's work on well-being highlighted how our focus shifts to new desires post-achievement. Historically, the paradox reflects a shift from survival-driven societies, where happiness was tied to basic needs, to modern consumer cultures, where endless choices fuel a cycle of wanting more. In 2025, this is amplified by social media, where curated lives sparked comparisons, driving the treadmill faster as we chase unattainable ideals. Philosophically, it resonates with existentialism, particularly Sartre's notion of living in bad faith, avoiding the present by chasing future fulfillment. To ground this further, reflect on a recent high, or low perhaps, a moment of joy or struggle today. Did its intensity fade, leaving you back at a familiar emotional baseline? As you pause here, let your thoughts wander through such a moment, not to chase its peak, but to notice its gentle return to normalcy. Like a tide settling after a wave, preparing you for a moment of calm reflection. The implications of the hedonic treadmill ripple through our understanding of happiness, ambition, and the absurd pursuit of meaning, challenging the belief that success or acquisition can sustain joy. Conventionally, we view life as a ladder, each rung career milestones, relationships, material gains promising greater happiness. Yet the paradox reveals that we adapt to each new height, resetting our emotional baseline, so the joy of reaching a goal fades as it becomes our new normal. This is mind-bending because it inverts the narrative of progress. The freedom to pursue happiness traps us in a cycle of wanting, like a runner who speeds up but never advances. It's as if you're painting a masterpiece, only to find the canvas resets to blank each time you add a stroke. This raises existential questions. If joy is fleeting, what is the point of striving? Does the pursuit of happiness diminish its value, or can we find meaning in the chase itself? The contradiction lies in how we live as if achievements will bring lasting contentment, while the paradox suggests they rarely do. Society fuels this cycle. Think of the endless ads in 2025 promising fulfillment through the next purchase, job, or experience, yet adaptation ensures each gain loses its shine. This amplifies the absurdity we've explored. We seek meaning through progress, in a world where happiness slips through our fingers like sand. Existentially, the paradox questions the nature of ambition. If we return to a set point, are our goals futile, or do they gain value in their fleeting joy? The mind-bending aspect is how it redefines success. Perhaps true contentment lies not in reaching new heights but in embracing the present, in finding gratitude for the baseline we return to. This echoes Camus' Sisyphus, who finds dignity in his repetitive task, suggesting that meaning arises from living fully in each moment, not chasing a permanent high. This perspective fosters a meditative calm, especially in this quiet moment of reflection on August 13, 2025. If happiness resets, the pressure to achieve lasting joy lifts, replaced by gratitude for the steady hum of your current state, your breath, your thoughts, the soft light of this afternoon. The paradox invites you to release the need to chase fleeting peaks, to embrace mindful minimalism, savoring the now without yearning for more. It's like stepping off the treadmill, choosing to walk slowly and feel the ground beneath you. As you pause here, let the implications of the hedonic treadmill wash over you like a slow tide, easing the weight of endless striving. Imagine your life as a quiet river, flowing steadily despite its waves, its beauty and its constancy. Whether joy spikes or fades, this moment is vivid, and that's enough. Your breath slows, your body softens, and the paradox becomes a gentle guide, whispering that contentment lies in embracing the now, guiding you toward a tranquil moment of rest. Transition to the next segment, as we embrace the steady contentment of the present, finding peace in the futility of chasing lasting joy. We're drawn to a deeper paradox. What if even our movement toward meaning is an illusion, halted by the nature of existence itself? This contemplation carries us seamlessly to Zeno's Paradoxes, where the absurdity of motion's stillness challenges our understanding of progress and reality. Zeno's Paradoxes, the illusion of motion as the gentle calm of this Wednesday afternoon, August 13, 2025, at 1:42 p.m. PKT, settles around you like a soft breath of summer air, the world outside your window humming with the quiet pulse of midday. a peculiar thought begins to drift through your mind like a shadow moving across a still pond. What if the act of moving, walking across a room, chasing a dream, or even progressing through life is an illusion, trapped in an infinite web of divisions that never let you arrive? This is the essence of Zeno's Paradoxes, a series of ancient philosophical puzzles crafted by the Greek philosopher Zeno of Ilia, which challenge our intuitive understanding of motion and space by suggesting that movement is logically impossible. These paradoxes, particularly the dichotomy in Achilles and the tortoise, weave a mind-bending spell, proposing that to cover any distance, you must first traverse an infinite number of smaller distances, rendering arrival absurdly unattainable. In the context of our journey through existential absurdities, Zeno's paradoxes amplify the tension between our experience of change and the logical impossibility of progress, questioning the very nature of reality. Yet, in their perplexing depth, they offer a soothing invitation, perfect for this moment. As you pause to reflect, they encourage you to release the need to rush toward destinations, to embrace the eternal now, like a single note held in an infinite melody. As you rest in this quiet afternoon, let this idea unfold like a gentle ripple, easing your thoughts into a reflective calm, guiding you toward a serene acceptance of life's paradoxical stillness. This paradox is significant because it undermines our certainty in motion and progress, revealing the absurdity of a reality where change might be a mirage. It's relevant now, as you take a moment to unwind, because it invites a meditative detachment from the relentless drive to move forward, fostering peace in the contemplation of an eternal present. Zeno's paradoxes are both haunting and liberating, like walking toward a horizon that never draws closer, urging you to find joy in the act of walking itself, rather than reaching an end. Today, let this paradox be your companion, softening the edges of progress, inviting you to rest in the quiet wonder of this moment. Zeno of Ilia, a 5th century BCE philosopher, devised his paradoxes to defend his teacher Parmenides' view that reality is unchanging and motion is an illusion. The dichotomy paradox, one of his most famous, argues that to reach a destination, say, a door across the room, you must first travel half the distance, then half of the remaining distance, then half again, because this process involves an infinite number of steps. Completing the journey seems impossible, as you can never finish crossing all those halves. Similarly, the Achilles and the tortoise paradox imagines the swift hero Achilles racing a tortoise that has a head start. By the time Achilles reaches the tortoise's starting point, the tortoise has moved forward. When he reaches that new point, the tortoise has advanced again, creating an infinite regress that suggests Achilles can never overtake the tortoise, despite his speed. These paradoxes defy our everyday experience, where we walk to doors and runners pass tortoises, making their logic feel like a riddle that traps motion in a web of infinity. To make this tangible, picture yourself walking toward a window today at 1:42 p.m. PKT, each step having the distance, yet logic insists you'll never arrive because the halves stretch endlessly. Take a slow breath here, letting the idea of infinite division settle gently, like a feather drifting onto a still surface, inviting quiet introspection. Historically, Zeno's paradoxes sparked debate among ancient Greek philosophers, including Aristotle, who attempted to refute them by arguing that time and space are divisible but not infinitely so. In a practical sense, the paradoxes remained intellectual curiosities until the 17th century, when the development of calculus by Newton and Leibniz provided a mathematical resolution. Calculus shows that an infinite series of diminishing distances, like 1/2 plus 1/4, 1/8 plus, can sum to a finite total, allowing motion to occur in finite time. Yet, philosophically, the paradoxes endure, challenging our understanding of infinity, continuity, and reality itself. In the modern era, they resonate with quantum mechanics, where space and time may have discrete units, and with philosophical inquiries into the nature of change. To ground this further, reflect on a journey in your life, perhaps a goal you're pursuing, like a career milestone or personal growth. Are you truly moving forward, or is progress an illusion, sliced into infinite steps? As you pause here, let your thoughts wander through such a moment, not to solve its mystery, but to marvel at its stillness, like a river appearing to flow yet held in place, preparing you for a moment of calm reflection. The implications of Zeno's paradoxes ripple through our understanding of time, progress, and the absurd pursuit of meaning, challenging the assumption that we move toward goals in a straightforward, measurable way. Conventionally, we view life as a journey, each step bringing us closer to destinations, success, love, fulfillment. Yet, Zeno suggests that motion itself is an illusion, as every journey fragments into infinite parts, making arrival logically unattainable. This is mind-bending because it contradicts our lived experience. We walk, we achieve, we change, yet logic traps us in an eternal standstill. It's as if you're running a race, feeling the wind on your face, only to be told you're frozen in place. Each step an infinite series of smaller steps. This raises existential questions. If motion is impossible, what is progress? Does the pursuit of goals lose meaning if we're always halfway there? The contradiction lies in how we live, as if movement is real, while Zeno's logic suggests it's a mirage. Society drives us forward. Think of the milestones celebrated in 2025. From career advancements to personal achievements, yet the paradox whispers that every step is an illusion, a fragment of infinity. This amplifies the absurdity we've explored. We seek meaning through progress in a reality where motion might be unattainable. Our journeys dissolving into endless halves. Existentially, the paradox questions the nature of time and change. If we're trapped in an infinite regress, are our lives static, or do they gain meaning in the act of striving, regardless of arrival? The mind-bending aspect is how it redefines progress. Perhaps true meaning lies not in reaching destinations, but in embracing the eternal now, in finding joy in each fleeting step. This echoes Camus' Sisyphus, who finds dignity in his endless task, suggesting that purpose arises from living fully in the moment, not crossing a finish line. This perspective fosters a meditative calm, especially in this quiet moment of reflection. On August 13, 2025, if motion is an illusion, the pressure to rush toward goals lifts, replaced by gratitude for the present, your breath, your thoughts, the soft light of this afternoon. The paradox invites you to release the need to arrive, to embrace the stillness within movement, savoring the now as an eternal point. It's like pausing mid-stride to feel the ground beneath you, finding peace in being rather than becoming. As you pause here, let the implications of Zeno's paradoxes wash over you like a slow tide, easing the weight of needing to move forward. Imagine your life as a single, perfect moment, its infinite divisions holding you in place, yet alive with possibility. Whether moving or still, this moment is vivid, and that's enough. Your breath slows, your body softens, and the paradox becomes a gentle guide, whispering that eternity lies in the now, guiding you toward a tranquil moment of rest. Transition to the next segment, as we embrace the stillness within motion, finding peace in the eternal now. Amidst the absurdity of progress, we're drawn to a new challenge. What if our attempts to define truth itself unravel into contradiction? This contemplation carries us seamlessly to the liar paradox, where the absurdity of self-referential deceit twists language and reality into knots. The liar paradox. This statement is false as the soft light of this Wednesday afternoon, August 13, 2025, at 1:43 p.m. PKT, bathes you in a gentle glow. The world outside your window humming with the quiet rhythm of midday. A peculiar thought begins to swirl in your mind like a riddle whispered by the breeze. What happens when you encounter a statement that claims, "This sentence is false"? If it's true, it must be false as it says. But if it's false, it must be true because it accurately states its falsity. This is the liar paradox, an ancient logical conundrum attributed to the Cretan philosopher Epimenides, which ensnares truth in a self-referential loop, defying resolution and exposing the fragility of our understanding of truth itself. It's a paradox that feels both playful and profoundly unsettling, as it undermines the very foundation of reliable knowledge, suggesting that truth can twist into contradiction when it reflects upon itself. In our journey through existential absurdities, the liar paradox amplifies the tension between our quest for certainty and the reality of a world where even language can betray us, rendering truth elusive. Yet, in its dizzying complexity, there's a soothing invitation, perfect for this moment, as you pause to reflect. It encourages you to release the need to pin down absolute truth, to embrace the mystery of contradiction like a river flowing in circles, never needing to reach the sea. As you rest in this quiet afternoon, let this idea unfold like a gentle spiral, easing your thoughts into a reflective calm. guiding you toward a serene acceptance of life's paradoxical truths. This paradox is significant because it challenges the assumption that truth is always clear-cut, revealing the absurdity of a reality where self-reference can unravel meaning. It's relevant now, as you take a moment to unwind, because it invites a meditative detachment from the pursuit of definitive answers, fostering peace in the acceptance of life's inherent contradictions. The liar paradox is both haunting and liberating, like gazing into a mirror that reflects endless mirrors, urging you to find joy in the loop rather than fear its lack of resolution. Today, let this paradox be your companion, softening the edges of certainty, inviting you to rest in the playful mystery of a world where truth can dance with falsehood. The liar paradox centers on a deceptively simple statement. This sentence is false. If the statement is true, then it must be false, as it claims. But if it is false, then it must be true because it accurately describes its own falsity. This creates a logical loop with no stable resolution, as the statement oscillates endlessly between true and false. The paradox traces back to ancient Greece, where Epimenides, a Cretan, reportedly said, "All Cretans are liars," implying that his own statement, if true, makes him a liar, rendering it false, and so on. The paradox isn't limited to this form. Variations like "I am lying" produce the same effect, trapping truth in a cycle of subtleties. Imagine a mirror reflecting another mirror, each image containing an infinite redress of reflections, never settling on a single truth. To make this tangible, picture writing a note today at 1:43 p.m. PKT that says, "This note is a lie. If it's true, it's a lie. If it's a lie, it's true." The contradiction spirals, defying resolution. Take a slow breath here, letting the circularity of the idea settle gently, like a pebble dropped in a still pond, inviting quiet introspection. Historically, the liar paradox has challenged philosophers and logicians across centuries. In ancient Greece, it puzzled thinkers like Aristotle, who grappled with the nature of truth in self-referential statements. Medieval scholars like Thomas Aquinas and Duns Scotus wrestled with it in theological contexts, questioning how divine truth could accommodate such contradictions. In the 20th century, the paradox became central to formal logic, with figures like Alfred Tarski developing theories of truth to avoid self-referential loops, proposing that truth must be defined in a meta-language separate from the statement itself. Modern logic and computer science confront the paradox in areas like set theory and programming, where self-reference can cause systems to crash or loop indefinitely. Philosophically, it resonates with postmodernism, which questions absolute truths, and with existentialism, which embraces the absurdity of a world without clear answers. To ground this further, reflect on a moment today when you questioned what was true, perhaps a news story, a conversation, or even your own feelings. Could the truth loop back on itself, like a sentence that denies its own validity? As you pause here, let your thoughts wander through such a moment, not to untangle it, but to marvel at its circularity, like a breeze circling back on itself, preparing you for a moment of calm reflection. The implications of the liar paradox ripple through our understanding of truth, communication, and the absurd pursuit of meaning, challenging the assumption that knowledge can be stable and reliable. Conventionally, we view truth as a cornerstone of reality. Statements are true or false, guiding our actions and beliefs. Yet, the liar paradox reveals that self-reference can unravel this foundation, creating statements that defy categorization and expose the fragility of language itself. This is mind-bending because it suggests that truth, the bedrock of our reasoning, can collapse into contradiction, like a house built on shifting sand. It's as if you're reading a map that declares, "This map is wrong," leaving you lost in a loop of doubt. This raises existential questions. If truth can contradict itself, how do we trust our understanding of the world? Does meaning dissolve when language betrays us? The contradiction lies in how we live, as if truth is attainable, while the paradox suggests it can be inherently unstable. Society depends on clear communication. Think of legal contracts, scientific claims, or personal promises in 2025. Yet the liar paradox shows that language can twist into knots, undermining certainty. This amplifies the absurdity we've explored. We seek meaning through knowledge in a reality where truth can loop into falsehood, leaving us adrift in a sea of contradiction. Existentially, the paradox questions the reliability of our narratives. If our words can deceive themselves, what grounds our beliefs, our identities, our connections? The mind-bending aspect is how it redefines truth. Perhaps meaning lies not in resolving contradictions, but in embracing them, in finding value in the act of questioning rather than answering. This echoes Camus' Sisyphus, who finds dignity in his futile task, suggesting that purpose arises from living within the paradox, not escaping it. This perspective fosters a meditative calm, especially in this quiet moment of reflection on August 13, 2025. If truth can loop into falsehood, the pressure to pin down certainty lifts, replaced by gratitude for the present your breath, your thoughts, the soft hum of this afternoon. The paradox invites you to release the need to resolve every question, to embrace the mystery of contradiction as a part of life's absurd beauty. It's like letting go of a tightly held rope, allowing your mind to float freely in the circularity of being. As you pause here, let the implications of the liar paradox wash over you like a slow tide, easing the weight of needing absolute truth. Imagine your life as a story that loops, its truths and falsehoods blending into a singular, vivid moment. Whether true or false, this moment is yours, and that's enough. Your breath slows, your body softens, and the paradox becomes a gentle guide, whispering that meaning lies in embracing the loop, guiding you toward a tranquil moment of rest. Transition to the next segment, as we embrace the circular mystery of truth's contradictions, finding peace in the absurdity of a self-referential, embracing the absurd, a quiet rebellion as the soft light of this Wednesday afternoon, August 13, 2025, at 1:44 p.m. PKT, bathes you in a gentle glow. The world outside your window humming with the quiet rhythm of midday. A profound thought begins to settle in your mind like a warm ember in a fading fire. What if, in the face of a universe that offers no answers, no purpose, no resolution to its endless contradictions, you choose to live fully, creating joy and meaning in defiance of its silence? This is the essence of embracing the absurd, a philosophical stance championed by Albert Camus, which calls for a quiet rebellion against the absurdity of existence, a life lived lucidly, without surrender to despair or false hopes, but with a fierce commitment to crafting one's own purpose. It's a concept that ties together our journey through existential paradoxes, from the Fermi paradox's cosmic silence to the liar paradox's twisting truths, weaving them into a singular, transformative idea that meaning is not found but made in the act of living itself. The idea is profoundly unsettling, as it demands facing the void without flinching, yet it's also deeply soothing, perfect for this moment. As you pause to reflect, it invites you to release the need for cosmic validation, to embrace the present, like a solitary flame burning brightly in an infinite night. In our exploration of absurdities, this concept is the culmination, amplifying the tension between our longing for meaning and the universe's indifference, offering a meditative lens to transform dread into serene affirmation. As you rest in this quiet afternoon, let this idea unfold like a gentle melody, easing your thoughts into a reflective calm, guiding you toward a tranquil acceptance of life's defiant beauty. This concept is significant because it reframes the absurdity of existence not as a curse but as a liberation, challenging us to find joy in the act of creation amidst a meaningless cosmos. It's relevant now, as you take a moment to unwind, because it fosters peace in the acceptance of life's contradictions, urging you to live fully in the now. Embracing the absurd is both haunting and empowering, like smiling at a storm knowing it won't answer, urging you to find serenity in your own defiance. Today, let this idea be your companion, softening the edges of despair, inviting you to rest in the quiet rebellion of simply being. Embracing the absurd, as articulated by Albert Camus in works like The Myth of Sisyphus, is a response to the absurd condition, the conflict between our desire for meaning and the universe's refusal to provide it. Camus rejects two common escapes: suicide, which denies life, and leaps of faith, which impose false meaning through religion or ideology. Instead, he advocates living lucidly, fully aware of the absurd, and rebelling by creating meaning through passion, freedom, and defiance. He illustrates this with Sisyphus, the mythical figure condemned to roll a boulder up a hill only for it to roll down, eternally repeating the task. Yet, Camus imagines Sisyphus happy, finding joy in the act of pushing, in the defiance of futility. This is the heart of the absurd rebellion, to live fully, creating purpose in each moment without expecting cosmic validation. Imagine standing at the base of your own hill. Your boulder before you, perhaps the daily struggles of work, relationships, or dreams in 2025, and choosing to push with a smile. Not because you'll reach the top, but because the act itself is yours. Take a slow breath here, letting the idea of defiant joy settle gently, like a leaf drifting onto a still pond, inviting quiet introspection. The concept synthesizes our journey's paradoxes, the Fermi paradoxes, silent stars, the ship of Theseus, fluid self, the liar paradoxes, twisted truths, showing that each reveals the absurd, a universe that defies our need for clarity. Historically, Camus developed this idea in the mid-20th century, amidst the existential crises of World War II, drawing on thinkers like Kierkegaard and Nietzsche, who grappled with meaning in a godless world. Unlike Nietzsche's call to create one's own values, Camus emphasizes living without appeal, embracing the present without hope for transcendence. In 2025, this resonates in a world of endless choices, fleeting joys, and cosmic uncertainties, where social media and global challenges amplify the absurd by juxtaposing our aspirations with reality's indifference. To ground this further, reflect on a moment today, perhaps a small victory or challenge. At 1:44 p.m. PKT, could you find joy in its mere existence, like Sisyphus at his boulder? As you pause here, let your thoughts wander through such a moment, not to seek its purpose, but to savor its defiance. Like a star shining in a void, preparing you for a moment of calm reflection. The implications of embracing the absurd ripple through our understanding of meaning, purpose, and the human condition, challenging the nihilistic despair that might follow the recognition of life's absurdity. Conventionally, we seek meaning in external frameworks, religion, success, or legacy, believing they anchor our existence. Yet, Camus' paradox reveals that the absence of inherent meaning is not a defeat but a liberation, freeing us to create our own purpose without waiting for the universe's approval. This is mind-bending because it inverts the narrative of despair. The absurd, rather than crushing us, becomes the canvas for our rebellion, where every act of living, loving, creating, enduring is a defiant spark against the void. It's as if you're painting on a canvas that will never be seen, yet the act of painting fills you with joy. This raises existential questions. If meaning is self-made, what sustains it? Does the lack of cosmic purpose diminish our actions, or make them more precious? The contradiction lies in how we live as if meaning is given, while the absurd demands we craft it ourselves. Society pushes us toward goals. Think of the relentless pursuit of success in 2025, from career milestones to curated lives online, yet the absurd reveals these as fleeting, unable to satisfy our deeper longing. This amplifies the absurdity we've explored. We seek purpose in a universe that offers none, yet in that void, we find freedom to define our own. Existentially, the paradox questions the value of legacy. If the universe forgets us, as the Fermi paradox suggests, or if truth loops into falsehood, as the liar paradox shows, does our rebellion matter? Camus argues it does, because meaning lies in the act, not the outcome. The mind-bending aspect is how it redefines purpose. In a meaningless cosmos, your spark, your laughter, your struggles, your quiet moments shines brightest, not because it lasts, but because it exists now. This echoes Sisyphus, who finds joy in his eternal task, suggesting that purpose is not in reaching the hill's summit, but in the push itself. This perspective fosters a meditative calm, especially in this quiet moment of reflection on August 13, 2025. If the universe offers no answers, the pressure to find ultimate meaning lifts, replaced by gratitude for the act of living. Your breath, your thoughts, the soft light of this afternoon. The absurd invites you to release the need for validation, to embrace each moment as a rebellion against nothingness, savoring its vividness without demanding eternity. It's like letting go of a tightly held map, allowing your mind to rest in the freedom of now. As you pause here, let the implications of embracing the absurd wash over you like a slow tide, easing the weight of cosmic silence. Imagine your life as a single, defiant act, like Sisyphus smiling at his boulder. Its meaning born in your choice to push, whether the universe cares or not. This moment is yours, and that's enough. Your breath slows, your body softens, and the paradox becomes a gentle guide, whispering that your rebellion is your peace, guiding you toward a tranquil moment of rest. transition to the next segment. Though our segments end, the paradoxes linger, their mysteries weaving through the fabric of your thoughts. As we conclude this journey, carry this gentle rebellion into your dreams, where the absurd becomes a quiet invitation to live, love, and create in defiance of the void.